Travesty of Justice, the 400,000th wrestling podcast. This is episode 3, and today we continue our Wrestlemania count up, going through each year's grandest stage of them all and giving our thoughts. This is Wrestlemania 3. Ventura goes full dad mode. WrestleMania 3 runtime is 3 hours, 4 minutes, and 37 seconds. As always, we are watching the WWE Network version.
Which also, by the way, the WWE Network's Shockwave plugin. I swear to God, I never have I screamed at anyone or anything in my life like I scream at this website.
Ryan, you're killing our chances. You're killing our chances.
I mean,
Scooter, how do you always watch it?
I watch it on my Xbox.
I watch it on my Xbox as well. High five. Do you get that weird thing where it jumps into the wrong, picture format thing?
No, I have not actually.
I totally get that. Do you watch HD 1080p?
Yep.
Me too. I don't know what it is. Oh, well. Fix your shit, WWE. We start, as always, with the attendance. And...
Dogs barking.
What was that?
That was my dog. I do apologize. She has clearly either seen a cyborg possum or possibly a ghost housefly.
Welcome to Travesty of Justice, where we have a guest star, Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell the Pitbull, who is a sentient breathing butthole.
The attendance on WrestleMania 3 is hotly debated. WWE gives the figure at 93,173.
Okay.
But others like to say it's between 73,000 and 76,000. I, for one, believe the 93,000 figure. I will tell you why.
Why is that?
Jason Savage has a great article listed over on BleacherReport.com about it. We'll throw a link on the site for this one. Either way, though, fuck, that is a lot of people.
76, 93, it's an impressive amount of people.
It is crazy. In 1987, if we hit 93,173, one in about every 400 people in the United States is in that stadium.
Jesus. And actually, and while watching anything with a crowd that big, am I the only one who wonders what the collective body funk must be like in that fucking stadium?
Only you.
Only me. Okay.
You can go online and find a picture from the absolute cheap seats, and you cannot see the ring. It is amazing. But people are like, well, fuck it, I better go. So it's the pay-per-view buys. I've seen two different figures. One that says 450,000. One that says, quote-unquote, estimated in the millions. So we're going to go ahead and put a big fat question mark on this. This is, as every wrestling fan knows, in the Pontiac Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, taking place on March 29th, 1987. Let's cut back to a little bit before WrestleMania. And Scooter, tell us about some of the movies but in 1986 after WrestleMania 2.
So, 1986 was also a great year for movies because the leader on top is everyone's favorite homoerotic porno, Top Gun, coming in at
Beach volleyball,
179
million.
That's huge for the 80s. And you also have the classic Short Circuit, Karate Kid 2, but the Amazing Aliens and Crocodile Dundee 2, which that's not a knife.
Jesus.
This is a knife.
Jesus Christ!
Did that make any money? Crocodile Dundee. The sequel,
which by the way, any of my Australian friends, all of them hate Crocodile Dundee and all of his works.
I can understand. So,
well,
you said 173 million.
173 million.
Is that like the second highest earning?
Yeah, it must have been because it's like 6 million difference.
Christ.
Good God.
But that kind of rounds out the big hits for 1986, and moving on to the early months of 1987, we have Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Yes.
We're the Dream Warriors!
And
I
conquered that.
Which side note, actually, I was watching that literally earlier today, so there's like on my face.
Getting yourself ready.
Yeah. And the best Christmas movie ever, Lethal Weapon.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Die Hard.
It's neck and neck.
Yeah, for best Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, tell us about some of the albums after '96 WrestleMania 2.
All right, so obviously, I think the most important album here, "Appetite for Destruction," Guns N' Roses, which of course did really well. Also, "Hysteria" by Def Leppard. Of course, "Pour Some Sugar on Me" was like the song that summer.
That's true.
Hey Ryan, what has 9 arms and sucks?
Def Leppard. Oh,
A guy lost his arm.
and also because I'm obviously a giant mark for hair metal. 1987 by Whitesnake.
The year or the album?
Both. The album 1987 by Whitesnake.
Did it come out in 87 or 86?
It came out in like the beginning of 1987.
That's just,
Okay, well that does make sense. Okay.
Yeah, and then also and then also the most important one on this list, "Sign of the Times" by Prince. Which listen. If you don't love Prince, there's either you're lying or there's something like seriously wrong with you.
True.
I mean,
like even if you don't listen to any of his music, like he's a weird sex dwarf with a funny mustache and an alpine voice, and he wears cravats everywhere. Like, how do you? And somehow is a sex symbol, and I support that.
That's how I became one.
I
right?
dropped my pants for Prince.
Yeah, yeah.
Going to the Billboard Top 100. Speaking of Prince and the Revolution, song "Kiss" was on there for 2 weeks.
Yes.
"Addicted to Love" by Robert Palmer. Only 1 week, but fuck you, I love that song.
Right.
"The Greatest Love of All" by Whitney Houston turned it up with 3 weeks. Patti LaBelle's "On My Own" also 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Huey Lewis and the News, "Stuck with You," 3 weeks. I'm not gonna mention all of these in order or anything, but there's really awesome songs this year in 86.
Yeah.
Papa Don't Preach, Venus, Sledgehammer,
Yes.
You Give Love a Bad Name, and the year ends with a 2-week run of Walk Like an Egyptian, which has 2 more weeks at the beginning of 87. And then 4 weeks in 87, we get Living on a Prayer.
Yeah. So really, like during all of the horrible things that happened in this time span, at least they had a kickin' soundtrack for it.
That's very true. We're also going to go ahead and start a new thing where we talk about some of the important events that happened between WrestleMania 2 and 3. But I'm going to start with something that happened at the very beginning of 86. This is something that happened before WrestleMania 2, but I feel it is important to bring up. The Space Shuttle Challenger explodes on January 28th, killing all 7 aboard. In April 26th, Chernobyl happens.
Oh, Jesus.
Immediate death toll, at least 4,056 people.
That is so many people. And that's the thing with Russian deaths. It's like you look at the death toll during World War II and how many people died under Stalin's regime. Russian deaths are just always huge.
Right? May 27th, Dragon Quest is released in Japan.
Oh, good.
Fuck you, that's important.
That is so
important. July 5th, not 4th. July 5th, the Statue of Liberty is reopened to the public after a big, long restoration. August 20th, first high-profile post office shooting spree occurs in Edmond, Oklahoma.
Shout out to my birthday.
Patrick Sherrill shoots 20 co-workers,
Jesus.
killing 14 of him before offing himself. I remember growing up in the early 90s, people were always making jokes
About going
about
postal.
Yeah.
and this is the first one that kind of started that.
So really,
This
this guy
is-
was just a trendsetter, you know.
That is in poor taste.
I'm just glad I was born a year later.
This is this
Coincidence?
happens. I hate all of you. This is still the deadliest incident of workplace history. September 8th, premiere of the Oprah Winfrey Show.
Oh, good.
September 27th,
Oh, no.
Cliff Burton dies in a bus accident in Sweden.
Yeah.
November 22nd, Mike Tyson wins his first world title. Moving on into 1987, Aretha Franklin becomes the first woman in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's back on
Yes.
January 3rd. January 22nd, oh boy, it's my birthday. I just turned 3. Something awesome will have happened. Pennsylvania treasurer Bud Dwyer shoots and kills himself during a televised press conference after being found guilty on charges of bribery, fraud, and other fun
Man,
stuff.
I've watched that video.
Yeah.
Happy
everyone-
birthday to-
I didn't realize there was that much blood in the human body.
No, see,
in the human head.
Well, see, and no, and the funny thing is, well, maybe not funny. Well, depending on, I guess, what you find funny. I don't know if I'm the only one who, as a wee tiny gremlin at a sleepover party, like watched Faces of Death with my other gremlin friends, because some kid invariably brought a videotape of Faces of Death to a sleepover party, and like 3/4 of those are fake. and completely like just staged. But the Bud Dwyer one was on there, and I remember seeing that when I was like 10.
Oh wow.
February 20th, a second bomb from the Unabomber explodes in Salt Lake City, injuring the owner of a computer store. This is important stuff because wrestling does not occur in a vacuum. If you look at the Attitude Era, we'll cover this as we get closer to that.
Uh-huh.
Remember that. Keep your eyes on the prize, guys. We'll get to go to the Attitude Era.
Oh, Jesus, I can see it on the horizon
But
like a gas station.
Jerry
with bad
Springer
lights.
is a huge influence on American culture at that time. So that's kind of why we get that. One other important news item to cover, not from 86 or 87, but from July 28th, 2014. Vince Russo accidentally CC'd two people on a company email today.
Oh, Jesus.
And then TMZ took it and ran with it. Spike TV has not renewed the contract for TNA Impact.
Dixie has said today that the negotiations with Spike are ongoing, but just about every news source in the world, reputable and not reputable, have said the talks have broken down.
So
I
looks
mean,
like it's going to be WWE by itself again. Because if there's one thing WWE needs, it's
a lack of
ruthless
competition.
aggression.
Jesus Christ.
Well, and the thing is, TNA, I don't know, maybe I'm probably being unfair because a lot of really great wrestlers have been in TNA, but I feel like my introduction to it was like Jeff Jarrett writing fanfic about himself.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I'll say that the women's division in TNA is amazing. WWE has amazing female talent, but WWE will not let them be used.
Yeah, they keep telling them to, like, tone it down and stuff.
Yeah, tone it down. You don't want to make fucking Blandy Orton and his 5-minute headlock look bad.
Right. Oh, God.
But this may open doors for ROH to take its rightful spot as the number 2 promotion. One could hope.
Yeah, ROH. We know how much they love TV.
Oh, Jesus. Man, I want to... Which, by the way, I want to believe in ROH, but it's so Mickey Mouse.
It's not Mickey Mouse. It's like... It takes itself way too seriously. It's about the... it's trying to make it look like a legitimate sport.
Right. Well, and also it's crammed with spot monkeys, and I can't get into any of the matches.
Yeah. PWG is actually worse for that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like PWG's like... ROH takes itself too seriously. PWG's nothing but the spot fest.
Oh, God.
So that's gonna... Yeah.
I imagine they don't even have transitional things. They just
they
walk to the
cannot,
top rope,
and
the guy
indie
just
wrestling.
lays down, and they just.
I love the workers there in PWG. I just can't get into it because it's like too much wink, wink, nudge, nudge with kayfabe, and just too many people trying to outdo each other.
Yeah, to be honest, all I watch is Juggalo Champion. I can't even finish that. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ. So, moving on to the actual show. Thanks for sticking around. The background for this, Vince McMahon Jr. has claimed that as he was about to welcome everyone to WrestleMania 3, he felt the spirit of his father, who had died 3 years earlier. Vince Sr. never saw the first WrestleMania. WrestleMania 3 contains a match that is ranked as the best match of 1987 and one of the greatest matches ever. And also, it contains the worst match of 1987. Yay, us! Yeah! To hit the 93,000 mark in attendance, Vince didn't put WrestleMania 3 up on pay-per-view for a lot of Michigan. Go you, Vince!
Smart business.
Yeah, Michigan, I guess it's okay for wrestling. It's got a few wrestling fans or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah.
As we hit the opening, we get the same porno sax. We get an absolute top-notch CGI Roman numeral that starts flying towards us.
Threateningly.
It opens up to the crowd. Jesus Christ, the size of the crowd in the Silver Dome.
Just everywhere, literally hanging off the rafters this time on scene.
I assumed they were like papering for this, that they were just like giving out tickets like free candy.
I don't think that there were actually very many at all that were comped, from what I understand. Jesus, they brought in a lot of money on this one.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And at the time, it's Hogan and Andre. No, I know, but at the time,
yeah. No, I mean, like they were the two top guys at the time, so.
Everyone wanted to see Andre, even though he can barely move.
Right. No, he was barely ambulatory, but of course everybody wanted to see the two big names in wrestling.
Yeah. Vince welcomes everyone, but it's hard to hear him over the roar of the crowd. The lighting is basically perfect this year, although that's probably more to do with the sun than lighting.
I don't know what it is, but just seeing like WrestleMania, like obviously we watch WrestleMania now, it's in a big open like football stadium. Something about those early matches when you actually get the sunlight as a natural light, it just looks cool to me. I don't know what it is.
No, it looks super cool.
They have a few open air WrestleMania 24 as you get to see it go to nighttime.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, even like that kind of begin that because like it's not completely open; it's glass, so you still get that effect of like when you get the day to night tradition.
It is cool.
Well, and I can't imagine how cool it's got to be if you're in the ring, if you're used to like cramped house shows, and then all of a sudden you're out in the open air and like surrounded by thousands of people. That has to be so cool.
To sing America the Beautiful, we have Aretha Franklin. Cut to her on a piano, and she begins singing. Really, really great job on this one. It's a very nice arrangement. Sound guy even gets to keep his job this year. The mic doesn't immediately explode into feedback. Very nice.
Right?
Although the backup singers jump in out of nowhere scared the shit out of me.
Suddenly, backup singers.
Although shoots... Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, like, Aretha Franklin obviously killed it because she's Aretha Franklin and kills it every time she says stuff. They need to find better material for their, like, America slideshow behind whoever they got to sing.
Exactly what I was going to say. As PowerPoint hits, we get a field, the Washington Monument, and some fucking kid chewing on a flag. Then an old guy on his porch wondering, what are you fucking kids doing with your goddamn camera? Trying to steal my soul.
And that kid chewing on the flag later went on to become Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
I gotta say that this one is inferior to last year because you don't see Hulk Hogan show up with shitty fake fireworks in the background.
Guitar. More establishing shots of the crowd. I'm still overwhelmed.
So many people
at this size one. Gorilla Monsoon, Jesse Ventura are joined by Bob Uecker. Oh God, why? And Mary Hart.
Surprisingly good, actually.
Yeah. Bob Uecker is in his 50s here. He was a Major League Baseball player for 6 years. Not a great hitter, batting average of .2. He was much better on defense, didn't commit many errors. He then went on to be a play-by-play announcer for baseball, still kicking around these days at the age of 80. Mary Hart, however, is best known for her 29-year stint on Entertainment Tonight, which some people mistake for a news show.
Oh, no.
The show also helped propel the career of the first recorded ass baby, that's where you get impregnant from anal sex, Bill O'Reilly. Now, we here at Travesty of Justice would like to make it clear that we do not discuss politics on this show, unless completely avoidable. But fuck Bill O'Reilly.
Man, fuck that guy. although honestly, I'm grateful to Bill O'Reilly purely for the phrase "fuck it, we'll do it live."
I still use that whenever,
all day earned.
So, God, at least 4 times before my first cup of coffee do I scream "fuck it, we'll do it live."
That is, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
We cut to our first match with the wrestlers already in the ring, the Can-Am Connection versus Magnificent Morocco and the Ace, Cowboy Bob Orton.
I just like to say, because I noticed this, we'll talk about this later with the Rougeau match, it was something about like face tag teams during this era, that they had to like lightly jog in place with their ring jackets on while they were getting their entrance. They just had to keep moving. It's like, we're just going to keep bouncing.
Yeah, they always look like the scrappy underdogs in like a Jean-Claude Van Damme film.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Fink announces, and their opponents, managed by Mr. Fuji, and that's all you need for the booze to begin.
Oh, man. There is no heat like Mr. Fuji heat.
The Can-Am Connection, of course, contains Rick Martel, who would later become the Model, and someone else.
Man, when you're the Marty Jannetty of that fucking tag team, that is
no, Rick Martel, you shut your mouth. Rick Martel's awesome.
Rick Martel pulls off a body scissors takeover, I guess. Gorilla calls it a forearm. Nice maneuver.
And then
a forearm drop.
Yeah, also Jesse Ventura called a clothesline a forearm shot.
Well,
that might actually be because we'll get there.
Yeah.
Monsoon mentions the Hart Foundation are the champions, that we'll be seeing them later in the evening. WWE is, again, getting used to the idea of hyping the matches to come and getting us excited about those.
Woo-woo!
The Can-Am Connection gives a double monkey flip to Morocco, which, as you know, twice as effective.
Right. It's twice as painful if two people do the thing.
Yeah, because two people are monkey flipping.
Right.
Man, it was at this time I noticed that like steroids were just running rampant during this time because
Oh my
everyone, except for Cowboy Bob Orton, because everyone
Right.
is
He doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, no, because
just-
Cowboy Bob Orton would wrestle twice as much like a dildo if he were on steroids. But
like this. But both Rick Martel and Fink, whatever his name is, just are
Zink, I
well-oiled
think.
muscles, and each guy comes out bigger than the last.
yeah, and it's
So-
it's great to know that it runs in the family for being a giant bland bowl of yogurt. That Cowboy Bob Orton, of course, his crotch spawn later went on to become Blandy Orton.
Very true.
And God, he just sucks. He just cannot wrestle.
That's
fine.
not true. Randy Orton. Well, I will say this.
No. I mean, no,
Randy
he can
Orton,
kind of wrestle, but Cowboy Bob Orton.
He does have some moves. Randy Orton can get across a story if he is dragged kicking and screaming through it.
Usually by John
One
Cena.
of the most amazing story matches I've seen was the I Quit match between John Cena and Randy Orton on some fucking pay-per-view. You know, one of the 20,000 ones they main evented.
and even
where
sorry,
he handcuffs John Cena. We call this the passion of John Cena around here. And he beats him with like a cane and some other crap. And then, you know, John Cena looks like he's passing out. And then Randy Orton snatches a bottle of water from like one of the timekeepers or something, splashes it in his face and says, "Don't you press out on me." Then he says, "Do you quit?" And he holds the microphone to John Cena's face, and John Cena looks at him and then spits water all over him.
Oh, it's so
Amazing.
Yeah. And again, there's that thing of like, man, I feel like, you know, suffice it to say about John Cena, he's better than I'd like to believe he is at wrestling, but also I just hate him.
it's just he's been around too long.
Yeah.
he needs to go away for a while.
He's overexposed.
True. OSW Review has a fantastic video on this. Top 10 Reasons to Love and Hate John Cena that they've just released a few days ago. Check out their YouTube channel, OSW Review HD.
Shout
They
out.
are absolutely incredible. Way better than us. Stop fucking listening to us and just
Go
go
there.
watch
Yeah.
them.
We don't care. Whoever's listening out there, just stop listening to us.
Seriously, Dad, just you got better things to do.
true.
Orton runs in and gets a double hip toss. Again, twice as painful. He pulls the whoops, wrong corner spot, gets punched in the mouth.
Awesome.
Monsoon says that Orton is a real technician. He is a man who has excellence of execution.
Keep this in mind for later.
Are you fucking serious? We get a full Nelson on Ace Cowboy Bob Orton, which he reverses into another full Nelson.
Yeah.
But Morocco punches Orton instead.
Sure. I mean, naturally, and actually,
Yeah,
I'm
as
glad he
you do.
did that.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see him punch in the mouth.
Yeah.
We do get a we get Ace kneeing Martel in the back from the apron. I really love that spot when the guy that's not legal knees the guy in the back on an Irish whip. It's
Yep.
great stuff.
Like, honestly, this match was kind of a breath of fresh air because I was like, oh, holy shit, wrestling moves.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
were some.
Like it was like, oh wow, this is a new feeling for every.
It was
WrestleMania
kind of
ever.
like it was kind of like the first WrestleMania during like the first 38 seconds of the Steamboat match, where you're like, "This is the greatest match I've ever seen." But we cut to behind the commentator desk. We see the back of Ventura's snakeskin
Whatever the fuck that is.
Thing?
Onesie?
right. And we get a really cool shot zooming very smoothly into the action in the ring. Love that.
Very good.
Yeah.
Morocco, 7 foot 14 inches, 986 pounds of muscle. Morocco pulls a fucking flare flop.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome to see.
Yeah. He looked like an ape getting shot out of a tree.
Morocco doesn't get talked up enough, but he's actually like
Morocco can
good
go.
worker. Yeah.
One would almost say he's magnificent in a way.
Well, his feel back is like he's really the only thing that we kind of still talk about him today is that spot by Snuka and the Splash at MSG in like 1980.
Right, which
That's
was a huge fucking moment for wrestling, obviously.
Fuck. Ryan, I hate you.
What?
Magnificent. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I've been going...
I want to believe that you've just had your face buried in your hand since I said that.
Scooter can attest I have.
Yes.
Good.
Monsoon says the ref needs to figure out who the legal men are. It's Morocco and Martel.
Yeah, it was pretty
It's-
easy to follow.
I would say the commentator maybe needs to pay fucking attention.
Yes.
A high cross body / trip spot gives the K&M connection the 3, or as Monsoon puts it, the K&M connection.
Jesus Christ.
Because Canada is spelled with a K.
Does he even know where he is anymore?
No.
During the replay, Jesse calls Morocco Orton. Close enough.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Ventura can't be bothered.
Scooter, what do you think of the match?
Honestly, we just way this kind of like moved. It got the K and M connection over. I have to go with a solid 3 on this match because it kept me entertained. It was fast moving.
Okay. Ryan?
I hate to agree because honestly, Scooter, I feel like I keep wanting it to be both of us completely disagreeing on a match and screaming "you ignorant slut" about anything because it's my favorite it's my favorite part of any podcast we do. But god damn it, yeah, 3 out of 5. No, mostly because there were a few actual moves, including full Nelson, and also it was mercifully fucking short. And just a good opening.
Yeah.
Just a good opening. It was a good opening match. So 3 out of 5.
Yeah, it kept the crowd hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned it's short. It's 5.5 minutes. Decent buzz. Crowds into the match. Some fairly decent double team moves. Even a hot tag in there. Fuck it.
Yep.
3. I think we all agree on that one.
It was at this moment I realized that I don't know what the fans difference between fans then and now. Because I think we're just a bunch of jaded fucks. Because just about every WrestleMania, no matter who's in there, the people are just going nuts. And this day and age, if it was a tag team opener, a lot of crowds would just sit on their hands like, we don't care.
Yeah, like, fuck this.
Unless it's the last 2 pay-per-views, in which case it's been the match of the night.
Well, that's because my boy Luke Harper is tearing it up in there.
Sorry.
Sure.
Last pay-per-view was the match of the night.
Dude,
the match before that,
also-
and Money in the Bank, that was Naomi.
Also, Luke Harper is so great, and he looks like Charlie Manson. It's
God, that dude that size pulling off super kicks and just
It's a beautiful.
big boots from hell.
Yeah, but I'd like to point out again, we are a bunch of jaded fucks watching this from a post like 2000s perspective. But I feel like as we watch these matches, we're mostly going, it was mostly adequate, 3 out of 5, if it's really good, and that's as good as it gets
At the time.
at the time.
Yeah,
But I think that there's a big difference. If you go back and play some fucking game like Cobra Triangle on the NES, you're going to be like, this sucks. But if you fucking pop in DuckTales, you're going to be bopping your fucking head along with the music. Because you know what? DuckTales aged really well.
It really did.
We get a promo package for Billy Jack Haynes and Hercules.
Billy Jerk Haynes.
Billy
During-
Jerkins.
During a full Nelson challenge, Herc clotheslines him and then full Nelson. Thank you for that 12-second promo, WWE.
Jesus Christ. And also, is Billy Jerkins, is he a pimp? Is he... What is he?
A pimp from Oregon. I think he's a pimp from Oregon.
I think he's
those-
definitely from Oregon.
Those Oregon pimps, I tell you.
We cut over to Gene and Heenan standing in front of WrestleMania 3 backdrop. Hercules says it's just like thousands of years ago when he took the chains
I love this
and
promo so
pulled
much.
down the pillars of Rome.
No, you're doing it
and
wrong.
he kicked Samson's ass. Wait, is his gimmick is that he's literally Hercules?
And
I think so.
And
but you're also doing that promo wrong. I gotta say, it's more like.
well, and which is what I love about this period of wrestling because I'm like, wait, is this the Oregon pimp or the Greek god? I can't.
Well, he talks about all these feats and lets the world know that tonight we will find out who the real master of the full Nelson is.
and which of course Jesse Ventura says, one of the most devastating holds I've ever seen, Gorilla. Like, shit, this man is excited about a full fucking Nelson. Wow.
I'm telling you,
man.
Ventura, can you imagine him watching TLC?
Oh,
I think he would he would just fly into the sun, and that's the last we'd see of him.
I must go.
My planet needs me.
Heenan at the end tells Gene to get it right. It's Billy Jerk Haynes.
Oh, yeah. God damn me. I just want to die.
Gene, ever the scamp, corrects him and says it's Billy Jack Haynes. And I want to imagine that right as they're going off camera, Heenan goes, jerk.
or just smacks the shit out of him.
You insolent fool. Billy Jack Haynes versus Hercules with Bobby Heenan.
Yes.
We get to see Bill coming down to the ring in the little ring go-kart thing as a woman in purple and white temporarily distracts me from Billy's gold, yellow, black periwinkle affair. No music, but the outfit is plenty loud.
Yeah,
enough.
that's all the pyrotechnics you need
It's
right
like
there.
it's like We've seen Herc in previous WrestleManias, but this is the first time seeing Billy jerk Haynes, and I just gotta say, oh my god, these guys are jacked to the gills.
Jesus Christ.
No, it's incredible to watch. And I remember like watching the first one and going, "Holy shit, Junkyard Dog! There's no way he's not roiding." And then realizing everyone here, it's like it's a fucking punch bowl in the back with fucking just steroids.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder why Vince McMahon wasn't picked up earlier for distributing steroids.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. As Herc and Bobby are coming out, again, no music, we get a shot of the guy driving the car thing. It broke the magic for me.
It took you out of the moment a little.
Some poor grip. It's just like,
One of my favorite lines that Monsoon, the fucking idiot, says, he says that when Hercules first arrived in the WWF, the full Nelson was not even in his repertoire.
Oh my god.
Who the fuck does not know how to apply a full Nelson?
And under the,
It's like
under the
a
giant.
clothesline. Okay, hey now. It's like a clothesline. Before they can even make it into the ring, we get our Weasel chant.
woo.
Yes.
I do have a note there about holy shit, these dudes are jacked.
Yeah.
Hercules might be a little bit more roided out.
Yeah, well, possibly, but Billy Jack is no slouch himself.
Well, and of course, and on the subject of roids, it's like, of course, we've all, I assume everybody that I know has probably watched an Ultimate Warrior promo on YouTube at 3 a.m. because they couldn't sleep. And, and of course you look at this fucking guy and you're like, this man pisses steroids. And then you realize, no, actually everyone was.
Yeah, he was pissing steroids and cocaine.
Yes.
Both. Beautiful, beautiful press slam from Billy Jack. We get one full Nelson attempt from Billy. Hercules runs out of, so we get a tease of a finish. Almost like later WrestleMania bookings. Nice.
Yeah, and...
I want to say there's probably about 5 moves in this entire match. Because, they're both big hosses, so you can't really expect too much.
Right, and honestly, that's the thing, though. For two big hosses... I wrote in my notes. I wrote Billy Jack Haynes couldn't sell an inner tube to a drowning man, and then immediately wrote Hercules is also no selling. Are they just both no selling the shit out of each other?
Probably.
Hercules sold more than Billy Jack.
As heels should.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone can though. Like they were both just like, oh god.
Ventura mentions that running to the ropes when Billy runs out of when Herc runs out of the hold. It's like a quarterback running out of bounds. Monsoon says, it's a little bit different. Okay, apart from football being a real sport, how is it different? No, that is smart. If a face would have done that, and what's great is Monsoon gets his ass called out on this, and I love it.
Good.
But if a face does that, he's smart. If a heel does it, he's coward.
Well, that's why Ventura is the man who tells it like it is.
Yep. Nice guys don't always finish first.
Take that.
That laugh he does where no part of him moves but his lower mandible.
Hercules hits a clothesline from the corner and decapitates Billy.
That-
I was like, that is the stiffest shit I've seen all night.
Dude, and yeah, even as watching that, I'm like, man, he just stiffed the fuck out of him. This man is dead now.
After a suplex, Hercules goes for cover but pulls Billy Jack up at 2, causing my dad, somewhere, to start screaming. He then signals for the full Nelson.
Oh my god. That's his thing. That's his thing is the full Nelson.
The number of times I've heard someone say full Nelson, somebody better win this fucking match with a fucking full Nelson.
It's like Chekhov's full Nelson. You have to do it.
Hercules calls for the full Nelson again.
Woo!
He gets Bill in it, but he can't lock the fingers.
I wonder if they're too roided out to actually lock the fingers.
Even though he cannot lock the fingers, he's gotta. It's wearing him down, and so they start dropping his hand. It's the world's first full Nelson sleeper hold. What?
Usually I've been locked in by full Nelsons that don't do anything, but if you got someone who's bigger than you,
it fucking hurts.
And then you lock on that full Nelson, you start losing air. So it works similarly
makes sense.
it works similar to a sleeper hold, but there is no pressure in that lock.
It just sucks.
Right, and there's a reason that in actual collegiate wrestling, that's an illegal move. You can't just lock in a full Nelson on a guy.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
ECW.
Yeah.
Billy escapes. Double clothesline takes out both men. Billy finally comes back. He signals for the full Nelson. Gets it locked in. Hurt gets to the ropes. Both get dumped outside. Billy puts it on the outside. And apparently Bill is so enraged he just doesn't give a shit. We get a WrestleMania double countout. Bobby kicks Billy in the head.
So
Billy starts chasing him to Weasel Chance. And Hercules punches him with the chain a few times. And Billy gets some color after the match.
Okay, so I love that just absolute, like, slow turn no sell that Billy Jerk Haynes does to Heenan after he kicks him. He just, like, unleashes the hold and just turns around slowly. And the Heenan proceeds to shit himself across the ring.
Shit himself across the ring.
He's just propelled by the force of shitting himself across the ring.
And after all this and the color, the punch with the chains, now we get the most devastating spot. We get another fucking full Nelson.
My God, so that's like more full Nelsons than usual in a match.
As Hercules and Bobby start to leave in the ring car, Herc almost falls out the back of it because he's not ready to go. And then he leans up and starts screaming at the driver. And I'm like, I imagine that before they take off, they're like, please make sure all wrestlers are secured inside and fully inside the ring car.
And Hercules is just screaming. It's so great.
This match could have been worse. Two big dudes did a bit more than...
How could it have been worse?
Two big dudes did a bit more than punch, kick, horse shit, and they did get over a story, though we did not get a decent finish for it. I'm going to give this one a high 2. Scooter?
Okay, so usually I tend to look down on endings such as this, but I got kind of a caveat. For the match itself, I give it a 1. It gets knocked down because of the double count out finish, but for the after the bell stuff, I have to give it a 2 because of the forward of the story. And it gave us some color, so it actually had. The match was kind of a dud for me, but then the after the bell was what made it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is the piss break match of the pay-per-view, and it's not every pay-per-view that has the piss break like the second match, but entirely because full Nelson, and we can't pronounce it any other way.
It's true.
Really, for all the build-up over that, and then it was just a giant wet fart of a match. It ended in a double DQ. God, this sucked so bad. I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Ryan, you call matches like Monsoon because it's a double count out, not a double DQ.
Ooh.
Oh. You take it.
You ignorant slut.
There we go.
Oh. Now the ignorant slut is on the other. Wait.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Promo for King Kong and his little people.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Leave me.
King Kong Bundy can cut a promo. Did you have to touch yourself during this one? Right,
as I frequently do with King Kong.
As his eyelashes batted just for you,
and pouting his supple King Kong Bundy lips. Yeah,
I almost wanted to make a drinking game of how many times people said midget in these promos.
Yeah, no, like watching this was so fucking uncomfortable.
Hillbilly Jim show it just is like, now guys, it's gonna get rough out there. I'm gonna take care of you if I can.
Because apparently midgets are children to Vince McMahon.
Right.
Well. McMahon is known for his excellent social progressive.
Yeah, that guy. He's for the people.
He's a fucking hero. King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo, and Lord Littlebrook.
I love that name.
Versus Hillbilly Jim, Little Beaver, and the Haiti Kid.
Jesus Christ.
At least Hillbilly Jim gets his music. Unfortunately, Hillbilly Jim gets his music. It's a redub, but the original, Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy, isn't much better.
No.
Although Hillbilly Jim, fuck, is he over?
And jacked all to hell.
Right? That's a roided up country boy. Don't go messing with a roided up country boy. Euchre makes it very clear from the outset he doesn't know what the fuck is happening.
Sure.
Still better than Lady from WrestleMania 2.
You know what, though? I didn't know what the fuck was happening. I'm right there with fucking Euchre.
You know what? Yeah. I kind of felt that way, too.
Yeah.
Although we get a moment that caused me to pause the TV here.
Oh, God.
And I had to come back an hour later. I don't like the crisscross spot.
Yeah.
But there was a double crisscross. I hate you.
With midgets. With little people.
Oh, my
I hate
God.
you, midgets of wrestling.
Oh.
Why did you give me a double crisscross? although they follow that with a rowboat spot,
Double
and I
rowboat
lost
spot.
my fucking mind. That was amazing.
They do that. They do. Although, yeah, like my notes for this match were literally just, why is this happening? Bullet point, oh god, this is still happening. Bullet point, kill me. Bullet point, death now, please.
However, I will say that Monsoon and Ventura actually talk about how the midgets of wrestling are like veterans of the sport.
Right.
How we've got some that have a lot of experience, and they're trying to put it over as not just a carny joke, which is the reason McMahon booked
Which
him,
was
sure.
entirely a carny joke, let's be honest.
Yeah. Although, like, I don't know if it's more recently, but, like, little people wrestlers, they can go. Like, some of them can
Fucking
go.
Right.
El Torito,
Especially like, the luchador little people.
yeah,
it's fucking
the
unreal.
TLC match, I think it was the TLC.
WLTC match?
Extreme Rules pay-per-view, the WLC match that they had on the pre-show, El Torito versus Hornswoggle. Let me tell you, that was the match of the night. Because fucking El Torito tore it up.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know what it is. WWE, stop blowing your load at the beginning. You're the biggest premature
My
ejaculation
favorite,
in the company.
as a sidebar, my favorite part is that El Torito is more over than the mascot's more over than the Matadors.
Yeah.
Because no one gives a shit about those guys. It's all about El Torito.
Well, have you seen them wrestle?
No.
Okay. Hillbilly Jim goes for a cover after the world's safest elbow drop, and his two partners jump on to help him out. That I lost my shit at. That was amazing.
That was great.
Bundy kicks out. Little Beaver is just a little shit and keeps running in and fucking with Bundy.
Yeah.
Bob Euchre
He just starts punching him in the gut.
Bob Euchre says, I think there's a lot of beaver all over this.
Oh my
place."
god, I lost my shit at that.
You
I
did
was
say
like,
that.
this
You did
is...
say that.
Man. You know, and then I realized my 20s look about like I thought they would. Watching this, and then there's a whole lot of beaver in there, and here I am watching this at 2 in the morning, and just like, what the...
Giggling to yourself.
Yeah, like,
While
like
crying.
I do. Yeah. Also while just like punching myself in the mouth for watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bundy gets a nice heat for the body slam on Little Beaver. Elbow drops, get him disqualified.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's disqualified because he attacked someone that wasn't Hillbilly Jim.
Right.
Even though Little Beaver kept like punching
Yeah.
Bundy in the ball sack. I don't know.
Well, see, he's a little person. He's not going to do any real damage to King Kong Bundy.
Well,
That's the-
oh
that's
yeah,
the-
he's a
that's the
kid,
story.
right?
Yeah.
What is he, 12?
Yeah, basically.
Like,
And which is
I
great.
was so happy he elbow dropped that little
He elbow dropped Little Beaver. Little Beaver was a champ.
Which I almost felt bad for King Kong Bundy because headlining WrestleMania 2 and
Yeah,
and Carney
that's a good
Jim.
point.
Yeah.
Poor
Like,
guy.
all of a sudden, he's got top of the world to this match.
Yeah.
Scooter, give me your thoughts.
Okay, with this match, just because it harkens back to the Carney days of wrestling, and that tends to be an embarrassment for anybody watching it. I got to go with a 1 just because of I don't give a shit factor.
Yeah.
And that's really all I have to say about it. And the fact that how many times I heard they used the word midget, it got really uncomfortable after a while.
Yeah.
So 1 out of 5.
Reminds you, speaking of uncomfortable, it's like pulling some of the spots from the promos from Piper and last year.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, how'd you feel about this
Oh,
match?
Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. I almost didn't know how to rate this conventionally because I'm like, this was not a
Yeah.
match. This was. You could just picture Vince McMahon cackling to himself and like off stage and like, God damn it. It was emblematic of just generally the excesses of 80s wrestling, where like, again, it wasn't quite out of its diapers yet, really, as a giant, as the hulking behemoth we know and kind of hate today. It was 1 out of 5. It wasn't even a proper match. It was a joke.
A piss break match at best, and a reason to laugh at people that are differently abled at worst.
Yeah.
High 1, low 2. Still was not as bad as Andre and Stud. I think you motherfuckers are forgetting where we came from.
Yeah. We got to be consistent with the matches that we hate.
Oh, we cut to the lovely Elizabeth and Randy Savage promo. Savage is hilarious.
Yep.
We get the fact
This
that
is
Elizabeth
awesome.
has
I
no
love this.
character.
I love this
Thrilling
freaking
stuff.
promo.
Junkyard Dog and Harley Price.
Actually, we're going over the best part of the. He's like, he's talking to Savage, talking to Mary Hart. He's like, my phone number's on my license plate. He just takes off,
and then
she's like, I would like to talk to Elizabeth. Phone number's on the license plate.
And then King Harley Race, who sounds exactly like Scruffy the janitor from Futurama.
Very true. And then we get Junkyard Dog who says, "This is America. We don't need to bow down to nobody."
My parents told me to bow down only but the good Lord above.
Man, Junkyard Dog promos are a gift from the fucking Lord.
They are amazing.
I love them.
Pretty awesome.
I do have one other note here on the promo package. It says, "Fuck Moolah."
Fuck Moolah.
Yeah, generally, I think this is generally just a Moolah hate podcast.
She was on top for 20 years or so.
28.
28 years. Woman could not learn how to talk on the microphone during that whole time.
Or
she
perform a hip toss.
Charisma.
She is the master of the snap bear, and I use the word master very, very loosely.
Yeah, like her
as in it is the only thing she can almost do.
Wikipedia tells us that one of her signature moves is the Moolah Whip, which means grab them by the hair and throw them because you're trying to hurt people on purpose.
I can beat that. If you look up the Wikipedia article for Miss Elizabeth, it lists one signature move.
Oh, snap.
Slap.
As you
Jesus. Do. And then with Moolah, I've never before, and when Moolah was on the thing, immediately I growled to myself, and this is the greatest thing I've ever growled to myself, go back to Tookie Doo. Because she is from Tookie Doo, South Carolina.
Okay.
Google it.
Only a place like it sounds like Bucksnort, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Or I did grow up in Cottontown, Tennessee, so there's that.
Boo.
Class of 38.
Harley Race versus Junkyard Dog. Harley Race enters to the music that Jerry Lawler used, Modest Mussorgsky's Great Gate of Kiev, from pictures at an exhibition. Look it up, you uncultured fuck.
Says the man watching WrestleMania 3.
Shut up. Yeah. Harley Race's crown on his tights is off-center. It bothers me. This is WrestleMania. Get your fucking tights in order.
I feel bad for Harley Race because this man, he's really good and he deserves better than what he's getting here. But as you do.
Yeah, he actually has like 2 moves that he uses, which puts him largely above the rest of the wrestlers.
But the thing is, at this point, Harley Race has been wrestling for a long time, and he's old.
Yeah, he's an old guy.
And he's still alive, which shocks me to this day.
What?
Yeah.
He's like the Strom Thurmond of wrestling. Jesus.
Kinda, because he's a hard drinking, hard smoking kind of guy he's like a legit ass kicker. So
yeah.
Harley Race don't fuck around.
Yeah.
Reyes does get a great back over the rope spot, heads back out the same way. Ray sells his own headbutt to Junkyard Dog. Beautiful. Follows that with a flare flop. They spend more time outside than inside of this match.
So I didn't realize JYD was Samoan, because that's a trademark for every Samoan wrestler ever, is that if someone headbutts you, they have to sell it.
Right, yeah. That is a weirdly Samoan thing, you're right.
Also, I think it was at this point somewhere, Ventura mentions that JYD has a 4-inch cranium, and I was like, is this racist?
Do you know what 4 inches is? Because I think he means like 4 inches thick.
Yeah.
But he's...
Yeah.
Is his head deeper
mostly
than
bone.
8 inches?
It's like a TARDIS, actually. It's bigger on the inside.
I think it was like the implications are that he has a bigger skull, which means he has a smaller brain. I believe that's kind of like what is not said but implied.
Racist.
Thanks, Ventura.
Yeah.
We get our triple headbutt spot from Junkyard Dog. Gorilla Monsoon says, the dog on all fours, his favorite position.
Yeah, I lost my shit. I think didn't I text Marty? Didn't I text you with that?
Yeah,
I believe you did.
Yeah.
That's one thing I noticed, at least after you mentioned it in the last podcast, they do not stop with the homoerotic comments.
No, and actually, and actually, as long as we're on the topic of homoerotic not even subtext, just text at this point. During Billy Jack Haynes versus Hercules, it was he's got it in pretty deep, Gorilla.
Yep.
Oh my God,
I was screaming.
He's got it in pretty deep, Gorilla.
Put it on my headstone.
I'm going to go back and watch that.
It's so great.
Fuck you. You're going to make me go back and watch WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
Belly-to-belly suplex allows Race to get the clean 3 in the ring. And now, the junkyard dog must kneel to King Harley Race.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but we were talking about other stuff. We skipped over probably my favorite spot of the whole card is the double 360s that Harley Race does. It's like he goes into the inside of the ring
and then right back out the same
way. It was brilliant.
Yeah, a thing of beauty. 360 no scoped.
And then now Junkyard Dog has to kneel.
His tiny little curtsy destroyed me.
At which point I noticed the cameraman has an eye patch.
I missed that.
The cameraman has an eye patch.
All right, well there you go.
Junkyard Dog, the good guy, after being pinned cleanly in the middle of the ring, hits the heel with a chair.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he does not hit Moolah and end her life.
Yeah, right.
I know it's like hitting a guy with a chair is not exactly a face maneuver, but the thing is, why JYD is such an awesome face is that the stipulations with the match that he had to bow to Harley Race, and he did. He was true to his word. He just beat his ass afterwards.
No, yeah. The letter of the law, if not the spirit. Yeah.
Oh, and I love how Heenan sees the look in Junkyard Dog's eyes and just grabs the crown and just tears ass because he knows what's about to happen. He doesn't bother saving.
It's amazing.
It's just like, oh, I'm out.
By the way, I don't know if it was just me who was really again uncomfortable with the racial politics of this whole thing. With okay, so Junkyard Dog now has to bow to a blonde dude in a king robe with fabulous moolah from Tookie-Doo, South Carolina, motioning for him to bow, and I'm sitting here going "Ee."
I actually didn't pick up on that one in this match because to me, Junkyard Dog, the way he was getting pushed and everything, Junkyard Dog was an equal player,
right?
And we can sit here and talk about this and that, but in professional wrestling, there were not as many opportunities, for people of color to really get the push they needed. But Junkyard Dog
was hugely over at this time.
Yeah, and that was all.
And that's the thing about Vince McMahon. We could say a lot of nasty stuff about what Vince does and his business practices, but he didn't care what race you were. He was like, if he could make money with you, he would work with you.
As long as you're a man.
Right, yeah, that's important.
As long as you're a man.
That's so important, yeah.
Match is not terribly exciting. Harley Race is beyond his prime here, but can still command some respect for his bumping for Junkyard Dog. Match ends in 3.5 minutes. I'll give it a low 3. Ryan?
I gave it a 2 out of 5, just because it made me sad to watch Harley Race drag an ass through this thing. Because, again, by this point, the guy could take a bump and he was still doing pretty good, but it was, I don't know, it was not a great match.
Fair enough. I have to give it a 3 as well, just because there's some really awesome bumping spots, and it was short, got the point over, and JYD killed Harley Race with a chair. So, win-win.
True. Yep. Harley Race was inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame in 2004 by none other than Ric Flair.
Yeah. Oh man, anything with Ric Flair. The guy could sell me a ketchup popsicle, and I would buy it from Ric Flair.
You probably should buy it off of him because he needs the money.
He needs the money. He would go, I made myself sad.
Okay, we go to the Hogan promo with Vince. Hogan immediately starts screaming, coked up beyond anything I can imagine. Vince looks uncomfortable. Hulk says all he has to do is beat a giant. But Andre, brother, you've got to face the truth. You have to beat Hogan. You have to beat all the Hulksters. There are no shortcuts.
Like any people, they don't take shortcuts.
Hogan, no shortcuts. Pick one.
Yeah.
As Hogan flexes at the end, Vince comes his pants a little.
He just he just blocks the camera view with his muscles.
And yeah, as Vince masturbates furiously off camera to the giant muscles.
We go on to the Rougeau brothers versus the Dream Team.
Yeah.
Hammer's fucking robe.
Yes. Oh my god.
Thing of beauty.
Which is hilarious when you've got adorable Adrian Adonis, and apparently he's so he's supposed to be the oddity for people to gawk at, and then you've got but that's the funny thing is all right, where do you draw the line for flamboyant fucking wrestling attire?
It was at this point when the Dream Team were making their entrance, I noticed that people were just filling that little cart thing with trash.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Heels.
just constantly.
Yeah.
Like,
It would only get better as the night went on. Gorilla mentions that the women in purple and white that are taking everyone's robes are the Fedorettes. Quick tags, double drop kick from the Rougeaus. They double leapfrog Greg. A double leapfrog. Christ almighty. Ventura says that the longer the match goes, the tougher Greg gets.
I don't understand.
No, I think you mean the more winded.
Yeah, and I think Jesse Ventura hates double teaming as much as he loves jangly keys.
He's like, oh, they're double teaming all in this place. The ref needs to get order. It's like they're tag teams. It's like the
5
cornerstone
seconds, dude.
is the
Calm
double
down.
team maneuvers that tag teams
Calm
do.
down, Brad.
Yeah, and I've seen I've seen the face of hell, and it's Jesse Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon calling a tag team match.
It's like
Yeah.
they haven't like that's something they have until 5 to get it, like so it's legal. Get off their nuts. Get over it.
Bobby Heenan joins them on commentary as Greg,
Oh my god, this
Yes.
is so awesome.
And he
Greg gets a figure 4 on.
and Bobby Heenan
2 for 2.
and Bobby
2 for 2.
and Bobby loses his fucking mind on commentary.
Screaming. It is great.
I like think it wasn't planned. He just ran in, grabbed a headset,
Started
went nuts for like 3 minutes.
And he's right. Bobby Heenan has more fucking time on WrestleMania than Gorilla Monsoon does.
And-
Holy shit!
and I like to believe
Motherfucker
that-
manages all the heels that Mr. Fuji doesn't.
Yeah,
and-
or
and-
Slick.
Right, and I'd like to, and I like to believe to myself, it's kind of like while watching Bram Stoker's Dracula and any one of Tom Waits' scenes as Renfield. I like to believe that he just wandered in front of the camera as himself and started screaming, and they just filmed it. I like to believe in the same way that all of Bobby Heenan's spots were just totally a shoot. Like he just wandered in front of it and grabbed the microphone.
It's like, I'm 2 for 2, baby. Unstoppable.
Valentine is really making the Rougeaus look good as Brutus tries to come in and then misses an axe handle. Thank
That's
you
why I
for
think
your
these,
performance,
like,
sir.
Greg is always the workhorse for Brutus, because Brutus is always
Brutus just sucks. Holy shit.
He's just so bad.
Yeah, I'm just
He
hanging on the
misses
outside.
an axe handle. He hits Valentine instead. The Rougeaus pull off their finisher, the flying blowjob, and roll Valentine up for the 3. But oh no, the ref is distracted.
Oh,
and Dino
no.
Bravo, Dino fucking Bravo, dives in and hits one of the faces, throws Valentine on him, and the ref turns around in time to see it. The heels win, and Dino has done more work in the match than Brutus as the match crawls to an end in 4 minutes.
And it was at this point I realized the heels start taking off with Brutus, and it's like, why?
Without Brutus.
Yeah, without Brutus.
Yeah.
It's like they won. I guess but now
Because,
he's like,
like,
he didn't do
I guess
anything.
fucking Greg the Hammer's like, fuck you. You didn't do anything.
It's just I felt so sad for how hurt Brutus looked. He was just
Yeah,
like,
he was very hurt in the middle of the ring. I
Yeah.
wonder if that will play into later events.
Oh, who can say, you know?
we will see.
Not really much to say on this one. 4-minute match featuring Mr. No Charisma Needed, Greg Valentine, who still looks like Shawn Michaels next to Beakface.
Yeah.
To Ryan.
I gave this a 4 out of 5.
Whoa!
And honestly, and the reason for it, and let
Ryan?
me, yes,
Ryan.
yes,
This is the Dream Team and Rougeau match.
I am aware.
Okay. Okay.
But,
I should have said. Well, go ahead.
no, please, Scooter. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say this is why I think the time in the pay per view or Ryan's brain kind of fried. He's giving everything a 4 out of 5 because you did that in WrestleMania
7 out of 3.
And all of a sudden, I'm just restructuring time and space to justify my
Say,
rating.
like about halfway through WrestleMania 2, you started getting every 4 out of 5. I was like, wait,
It's 11
what?
out of 4, bitches.
And all right. So the reason I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Right.
One, Bobby Heenan said stuff, so automatic. So automatic point there. There were honestly some great reversals in this match. Like there were like I got the impression that these guys were not just drunk out of their fucking minds in the ring. And then everybody was selling like a bastard in this match. there were some like beautiful sells, like maybe not from Brutus the Barber, but like from everyone else. Everybody was selling their asses off. So yeah, 4 out of 5. And also, it was mercifully fucking short. So
It's
True.
short.
I kind of see it in between you two guys. That's when we're gonna give it a 3 out of 5, and you guys have basically stated any kind of point I could possibly make for the good and or bad. So
oh, there you go.
There you go.
Also,
I made a promo.
Also, I have seen. Oh no, please, I'm sorry.
No, all of you, buddy.
No, actually, I was going to follow a thing that you probably were about to say. So,
okay, promo video for Piper and Adonis. We see Piper getting beaten up. Then he beats up Jimmy Hart. Then Adonis hits him. Then he hits Jimmy Hart. All right, whatever. It does a decent job.
Piper goes nuts with a baseball bat.
It does a decent job of showing some of the more outlandish moments between the two. Though in a promo vid today, we'd have like slow motion and epic music and all that shit. This really does a fine job, though. So they cut out the video and then just show the WrestleMania 3 logo. When Adonis goes to squirt Piper in the eyes. Okay, I thought maybe that was like too gruesome, and that's why they cut just to the WrestleMania 3 logo for it.
Yeah, but honestly,
then they come back to the video, and he squirts him in the eyes.
Yeah, and honestly, I have seen The Face of Madness itself, and it is Jimmy Hart and Adrian Adonis with a pair of fucking hedge clippers. just screaming crazy-eyed at the camera. And as soon as you step through the flaming gates of hell, that's what you see right there. Welcome to hell. It's Jimmy Hart and Adrian Adonis, and they have hedge clippers.
And Monsoon says some interesting commentary that Ventura used to tag with Adrian Adonis. Mm-hmm. I was like, for real? And then I looked up Adrian Adonis and like old pictures from when he teamed with Ventura. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, he got so fat.
Yeah,
because he used to have like a decent like wrestler's body, and by the time like WrestleMania 2 comes around, he's just a fat sack of shit.
Yep.
Side note: did Dusty Rhodes ever have a decent physique?
No, and I love him for it. Just fucking Dusty Rhodes. He just comes out, just bleh, and it's amazing. And
someone asked him. They said, "How did you live with yourself wearing those polka dots when he first came to the WWF?" And he said, I wore those polka dots all the way to the pay line.
honestly, you know what I want to do before I die? I just want to sit at fucking Waffle House with Dusty Rhodes and eat some stupid hash browns and laugh at his jokes. That's what I want.
Yeah, that would be great.
And dine on porks and beans and dine with kings and queens.
Yeah,
I would love to. I'm just waiting for WWE to bring him in again so that he can be. Like
old dust,
yeah. Yeah, you can have the trifecta with Stardust and Gold Dust. It'll be amazing.
Oh my god! So I just got to say this because I probably never get another opportunity. One of the many times Dusty Rhodes has showed up on Raw, it was like an old school Raw, and they were talking backstage, and they made reference to the Shockmaster, and like someone falls over, and the camera cuts to motherfucking Arn Anderson, like talking to microphone, and just says, "Sorry, Dream," drops it and runs off.
That's amazing.
Excellent.
Roddy gets on the mic. He's not funny.
No.
He's just pissed.
Yeah.
That is amazing. We actually get, wait for it, more than one dimension of a person.
Ah.
All right.
Weird.
Which I was sad to see that apparently this is like his last match, at this point, last match ever as he's retiring, possibly go shoot They Live.
Wait for WrestleMania 10.
Yeah.
Adrian Adonis and WrestleMania 25. Adrian Adonis and Roddy Piper. It's a haircut match. You'd think the commentators would have mentioned that before.
You'd think.
Adonis has makeup on. He's wearing a Saiyan Scouter.
He is.
Oh my god, he is wearing it. Oh my god.
The best part of the hedge clippers is the pink bows on it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
He does not insinuate that he's going to shave Piper's head. He goes through and offers him several different hairstyles. That is a man that knows and understands his own character.
Yep. And it's
he's
great.
Offering to make him prettier.
And it's great, and he's just like motioning menacingly with the fucking hedge clippers, and it's great.
Click, click, click.
Piper comes out to bagpipes, but not live bagpipes. That would have been pretty fucking awesome in this crowd.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep.
As the two stare down in the ring, Piper's blood feud, his furious anger, is downplayed a bit by his smiling and gum chewing.
Yep.
But as the two stare down, fans go ape shit. Pulls out a leather belt, hits Adonis 4 times. No disqualification. Fuck it.
That's fine. No, that's fine.
It's Calvin Ball.
It's like 2000 WCW. Refs are fucking bitches. They get slapped around.
You literally just like mail a pipe bomb to their house in the middle of the match and kill their family, and everyone's like, "Yeah, that's fine."
Every time you use the phrase WCW 2000, I die a little.
No, you say it, and all of us have like flashbacks to it, and oh god.
I grew up because my dad was an NWA guy, so I naturally became a WCW kid, and I still have the scars.
Oh wait, was that your form of youthful rebellion?
No, because NWA, like Jim Crockett led into WCW,
right?
And so that's where my dad was like, "We should watch this. Where Ric Flair's on this because that's my favorite wrestler." And I just kind of watched it for like 3 years. And I was like, "Oh my god, I can't take this anymore."
Yeah, that's fair.
Adonis gets the belt, hits him a few times. The impotent ref just weeps and starts counting. He's like 1, 2, like he's got the ropes or something. Right. He's hitting him with the leather belt. Adonis nails the Flair flop this year. Good job.
Yeah.
Piper pulls him and Hart back in and sends Hart Irish whips him at Adonis. Jimmy Hart delivers a beautiful flying crossbody.
It's amazing.
And they both go outside.
Second spot of the night.
Yeah.
Then he gets thrown off the top rope at Adonis. Fans are going fucking nuts, and the ref is just not doing anything. But he's like trying to motion that he's losing his mind. And then Gorilla says something. Ryan, do you have what Gorilla says?
I actually don't. I don't have anything for Gorilla. What did he say?
Scooter?
What's up?
Woo! Only I got that one.
All right.
Piper wants him in there in the worst way.
Oh my god, it's so... Oh, Jesus.
Hart trips Piper to huge boos, and Adonis is allowed to finally get his offense in, including a chest rake. Not a back rake.
A chest rake.
A chest rake. I'm going to slightly stimulate your nipples. I'll tell you what.
He aggressively chafed his nipples.
Hart jumps up while the ref's back is turned. Not that it apparently fucking matters in this match. Sprays Piper in the eyes. Adonis gets his sleeper hold on. Piper forces him over, but Adonis keeps the hold on. As Piper fought to get out, Adonis fought to keep the hold on. I actually really, really like this exchange. Adonis lets go at 2 prematurely. But Roddy Piper keeps his arm up. Beefcake runs back in and wakes up Rowdy the rest of the way. And Adonis hits himself with the shears. And,
yes, he does. It was so weird. But I love the fact that, like, Hot Rod doesn't Hulk up. He rods up and just starts shaking furiously.
He does rod up.
And actually, and at this point, I wrote down in my notes, I didn't even finish what I was writing because I hated myself too much for having written it. Sheer pandem, and then I stopped writing.
I'm going to reach through this microphone and choke you.
No, I'm done.
Out.
I'm done.
Done. Podcast over.
All right, yep, we're done here.
Slam that door.
Yeah, so... But see,
Ryan,
I had to stop writing it in the middle of writing it because I hated myself too much.
And for good reasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Also, I'd like to point out, Roddy Piper's sleeper hold on Adrian Adonis was the most horseshit sleeper hold.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Like, he
However,
didn't...
there is a beautiful "We Will Miss You" Hot Rod sign in the audience.
Oh,
yeah.
Piper gets a sleeper hold on for the victory. Now, the commentators never talk about how this was the match of the sleeper versus sleeper. We got to have a big, like, full Nelson showdown earlier, but
it just happened. I think it just happened to be both those guys' finishers.
Well, it happened to be the other two guys.
It just wasn't. That wasn't the point of the match. You know?
Wait a minute. Wait, Roddy Piper had a finisher?
It was the sleeper.
Oh, okay.
Shut up. I suppose Beefcake has now turned face. That was quick.
And it's a beautiful sight to behold.
However, with shears in hand.
Oh my God, it's happening! Insert Ron Paul. It's happening.
It's happening. Yeah.
We get the second gimmick for Beefcake. Now he's a stripper barber.
Brutus, the fucking barber Beefcake, baby.
Which is still my favorite ever wrestling name is Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Like, oh god.
The birth of a legend happened at WrestleMania 3.
Yes,
Piper
and we all saw
joyously begins throwing some hair to the fans. Gross. They lose the fans during the shaving because that's always what happens in a haircut match.
Sure.
We do get them back when we get to show Adonis his new haircut. He heads out while Hart covers up his head. I love that.
Yeah.
Piper kisses Finkel's head as
Yes.
he leaves for his final match. Very touching stuff, shaking all the guys' hands at ringside.
But one fan just can't handle it, and he runs in, and he doesn't get knocked the fuck out by Piper, which I was expecting. Piper's like shakes his hand and like nuzzes his hair as road agents swarm the ring to tackle the guy.
Oh yeah, dude's gone.
Yeah, no, he's gonna wake up in another country and not know who he is.
Right. The match was definitely a spot fest. Adonis bumps like a fucking madman.
Yeah,
for
he
Piper.
does.
Entertaining from start to finish. I give this one a 4. Scooter?
I give this one a 3, because it's it's really hard to say, but my gut I feel like a 3. Like Martin said, there's a lot of spots, and it was entertaining. Adonis bumps like a madman, and the fans get the finish they want to see to Hot Rod's supposed last match. What are your opinions, Ryan?
I gave it a 3 out of 5 just because, like, again, Piper was on fire. Adonis was selling, like hotcakes covered in crack. And then I also, which probably they were serving backstage before any given
steroids.
match. You're right. And yes, hotcakes covered in steroids and cocaine. And Ventura, it was so funny because I was trying to figure out who the fucking heel was for this match. And then Ventura was angry that Piper won, so I guess that means he was a face. Because it was, his last match or whatever. So yeah, 3 out of 5. Bit of a spot fest, but entertaining as hell.
Mm-hmm. Piper is definitely a face on this one here.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler.
I mean, he should be because it's supposedly his last fucking match.
No, fuck that. I like to see heels get dragged out for their last match, screaming a la Jericho.
Yeah, while getting shit thrown at them. Yes.
Next, we have the Hart Foundation and Danny Davis with Jimmy Hart. Imagine that. Versus the British Bulldogs and Tito Santana with Matilda. Brett's shades. It still trips me out that he's wearing, sunglasses.
He doesn't have the wraparounds.
Also, why is Jesse Ventura in the ring?
Why did he come down? He specifically left.
No reason.
And tagged out with Bob Uecker.
He was propelled by his own fucking excitement of everything.
I want to be so close to the Hart Foundation. And oh, by the way, the nuclear heat this Danny Davis gets is crazy. I wasn't expecting it.
Wait, he gets heat? I didn't notice.
Like they announced Danny Davis, and people just go absolutely.
Yeah, he was a referee that turned heel.
I didn't
which
realize that.
That's an amazing gimmick.
That's great.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna have to that. Obviously, this is much like 15, 20 years later. In my favorite promotion, Chikara, they did a long running heel ref gimmick with a guy named Derek Sabato, where he'd be fair with most cases, except it involved the major heel faction at the time, and people just hated this guy's guy. He was probably one of the biggest heels in the company just because of his antics. So that still is a good way to get heat with the crooked referee.
That's awesome. Mary Hart and Bob Uecker are joining Monsoon on commentary, and I cannot wait for the fun to begin.
Oh, Jesus.
I was scared when it's like, oh my god, Bob Uecker and Mary Hart. It's like, this is going to be a train wreck. Mary Hart actually called a pile driver at one point.
Right.
She does.
I was like, oh my god, she called him correctly, and she's not offensive to the ears.
Right.
Matilda gets a really good pop, though.
Yeah, she
Matilda
does.
is over. As she attacks Hart's megaphone.
Which Jimmy, if you had a manager during this period, it was either Bobby the Brain Heenan, Jimmy Hart, or Mr.
Or
Fuji,
apparently Slick.
or Slick.
Or Slick, because Freddie Blassie retired.
Yeah.
As this is all like going on, the heels are tossed outside of the ring, and it's kind of like just a big schmoz at the very beginning. And Mary's like, I don't understand how this can all be happening.
It's a happening.
How did this happen to me?
As the wrestlers actually wrestle in the ring, we get a shot of Matilda being taken away. Like, there's wrestling going on. Matilda's adorable and all, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Mary clears that she is not related to the Harts that are in the ring.
Right, which of course was the burning question on everyone's mind.
Monsoon mentions that there is no better wrestler in his book than Tito Santana. As Brett gets him in a headlock from the apron, and Santana humps violently to try and get out.
Uh-huh. Yeah, aggressively humps.
You.
Mary asks if the Hart Foundation works out in their bright pink outfits. Monsoon believes that they do.
I was like, and the shades and everything. By the way, Neidhart is a scary looking motherfucker.
Yeah, Neidhart
Yes.
is...
Like he's squinting there, and he screamed. It's like, ugh.
We used to call him Uncle Eric because he looks...
He looks like your drunken uncle.
No, he literally looks like one of my uncles named Eric.
Fair
He
enough.
is not drunken.
No, I mean, like, just he looks like a drunken uncle.
Yeah.
He does kind of look like that, and with his crazy beard.
Yeah.
Brett delivers a Brett's rope elbow drop, but it's not the like forward elbow drop. It's like one where he kind of lands on his back, takes him up there, and Monsoon calls Brett the master of execution. I paused my TV and yelled at him.
Notice, he called Bob Orton the excellence of execution. So he got his wires.
But Brett is the master of execution.
Right, yeah.
So I guess which one is better?
Listen, there's a hierarchy that only Gorilla Monsoon is aware of.
It's very true. Brett does his classic like chest into the turnbuckle bump where he runs at like 100 miles an hour and just hits full on chest into the top turnbuckle, and his like arms wrap around it, and it usually like moves the ring because Brett does not like taking bumps to the outside. Mm-hmm. And he will fucking fight to the death to not do that.
not do that.
I mean, I don't blame him. I don't want to take a bump.
I don't want to take any bump, but
Yeah,
that man
I feel
has
that.
decided he really likes a chest to the turnbuckle. That is his spot. That's like his entree and getting his arms tangled in the ropes. Gorilla finally says that Brett has what he likes to call excellence of execution.
There we go.
Fuck off.
Oh my god. And that's the funny thing about Gorilla Monsoon is I feel like he's one of those guys that I feel like should be the beloved Gorilla Monsoon that everybody, that they even
He
named.
really is. That's the thing, though. It's like we make fun of his commentary now. People love Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah, and
like,
you know,
to this
the-
day, he's got great respect within the industry. There's a position in the behind the scenes
yeah,
called the Gorilla position.
Yeah, the Gorilla position
for a
like right
reason.
behind the curtains, right?
Yeah, because he was that guy. He's very well respected.
Yeah.
And so that's why his commentary's not great.
Yeah, and that's what I've realized is like, man, I'm sure he's a lovely dude. Get him the fuck away from the microphone.
He
No,
needs Bobby Heenan.
He does. He's a little bit better with Heenan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Monsoon mentions that we need at least one more ref.
of course.
Perhaps
The outside referee.
on the
Muhammad Ali?
outside. Where art thou, Muhammad Ali?
Yeah, and honestly, and this match was technically great, but it's a black hole of fucking charisma. Like, no one in this. I don't give a shit about any of these dudes.
I like Dynamite Kid as a worker.
Yeah, he's a good worker, but like watching, like,
Bret
Hart.
Hart.
yeah,
And Neidhart has charisma.
do not.
And Jimmy Hart has charisma.
Yeah, but
Dude,
honestly,
Tito Santana got me pumped in this match.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking
no, honestly, like this was a total
Ignorant slut.
Yeah, right, there we go. This was a total yawn fest, and honestly, man,
I can tell we're not even done talking about it.
God
Yeah.
damn,
And
dude.
you're just like shit on one. we're talking about their inch at one.
Lame.
What
I fell
lame?
asleep.
Yeah, I'm just
I know why you're pissed. I know why you didn't like it.
why.
Okay, because Brett did the wrong elbow drop. But after Monsoon says that we need at least one more ref, then we get the forward elbow drop that Brett delivers. That
Oh
we know and
ho!
love. If you didn't see that, I can understand why you give it wrong.
Yeah, but and honestly, this might just be a personal like thing. I hate Bret Hart and think he doesn't have any fucking charisma.
Whoa.
Bret Hart does not have the charisma of some people, but Bret Hart can fucking go.
No, he can go. He's a great wrestler. I just, it's
I
kind
don't
of
think he has any. Okay.
it's.
So you're more of a Shawn Michaels guy.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, who is?
I mean, who isn't a Shawn Michaels guy? But
there
like,
is no debate as to who's a better wrestler between the two.
right, and that's the thing with Bret Hart is it's sort of like he's like Dream Theater, technically great. I do not give a shit about Dream Theater.
What I always say is that Ric Flair is the Johann Sebastian Bach of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Bret Hart is the Mozart, whereas Shawn Michaels is the Beethoven.
Right. Shawn Michaels is the guy with like all the Durham and Strang, and just really cut.
What about Lou
Durham
Thesz?
String.
Yeah, he will. And then Bret Hart.
I'm talking about post 1743. Jesus Christ!
Wow, we took a weird segue into classical music.
It happens.
It does.
Mary asks why Dynamite Kid isn't running away to tag. Monsoon doesn't know.
Probably because he hates Baby Boy's guts.
The sun starts setting during this match. The lights go full throttle. It doesn't look quite as great, but it's still pretty good. We get finally a hot tag to Santana against Davis, the retired ref, who takes a crazy high back body drop.
Yeah.
Santana hits a beautiful flying forearm. It's really a flying forearm. And then Anvil saves Davis from the figure 4, which is nice.
And he like freaking Santana just goes nuts on his
fucking
face.
murders.
Just like
Yeah.
it was like
Murders
it was
him.
like turned into mush. It was like oh god, Bruce Willis brutalizing the yellow bastard in Sin City.
Right.
Davey Boy clotheslines Davis, and Mary asks, "Was that a clothesline?"
Yes, sweetheart.
Yes.
Immediately after, she knows what a pile driver is, as Bulldog hits him with a jumping tombstone pile driver. Looks like he fucking kills the man.
Yeah,
in the
it looks like
Complicated.
I'm literally watching this go like, that man is dead. He's dead now.
air. Now this really, really powerful maneuver. Then he picks him up for an even more powerful maneuver, which is his finishing move, a running power slam. After a jumping
It did look
tombstone.
brutal though.
Well, yeah, I mean it looks cool, but after a pile driver,
Fair enough.
That's
Yeah.
He wanted to make sure he was killed dead.
like JBL would do a pile driver, and then the guy would get up from the pile driver, and then he'd clothesline him.
And
I
that,
would do it 360, which is always kind of cool.
Still, I understand JBL is a piece of shit.
yeah,
Fuck you,
yeah, fuck JBL.
Yeah, fuck you, Josh Lindsay.
That is an inside joke.
Which I love that.
Hey, Josh.
And Josh is like one of the kindest people I know, and I love that we've given him the nickname JBL. Like, I assume that's the joke.
Kind of. There is a joke, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
too much.
Anvil breaks it up. We get a huge schmoz. Everybody jumps in the ring. Davis manages to get the pin on Davey Boy after hitting him with a megaphone. I was not particularly amazed by any of this match. Some decent spots, but Brett isn't quite the superpower he will become. Fairly decent crap. 3.
I'm going to step in and actually say I gave this one a 4 because I actually had a lot of fun with this match.
Cool.
Because I love the shitbird heel referee doing his thing in there, being a complete cock.
Excellent.
And just like, and the heels were awesome. There's good spots. There's decent wrestling. And I really can't complain. I was thoroughly entertained by it.
Well, that's good. It held your entertainment for 9 whole minutes.
Yeah, there you go.
Ryan?
Oddly enough,
That's like the third highest, longest match in the card.
and of course, after taking an enormous shit on this match, I actually gave it a 4 out of 5.
Fucking piece of shit.
I
This
contain
is the worst match I've ever seen. 9 out of 3.
I contain multitudes. The thing is, yeah, no, I'm like ampersand out of blue.
Are you? Is your real name Ryan Russo? Because
Yeah.
you just swerved us.
It's true. Yeah, look at my swerve. The thing is, I gave it a 4 out of 5 because it's a weird thing for me because I can acknowledge that technically this match was great. I just don't care about anything involving Bret Hart.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. He's like a psychic vampire for me. The guy comes. The guy's entrance music hits, or in this case, not ever for anybody but Hulk Hogan, the wrestling music. But
No one you show up the ring and they got away there in the ring
Yeah.
already.
right, yeah,
It's okay. You just don't like great wrestlers.
it's
true.
true.
I get it.
It's very true.
I mean,
Would you like him more if he had come up through a ring of fire?
No.
If he was in the Brood, you'd like him
It's
more.
okay, I heard-
You fucking
I hate Vern Gagne. I get it.
Oh, there you go.
fucking shit bats, you piece of shit.
If Bret Hart shit bouts, I would love him. The thing is, like, I don't know, yeah, like any match with Bret Hart, it's like I'm watching it, but there's no. God, the guy's got the personality of a wet sponge. I just don't care about him.
Well, I'm glad you hate Bret Hart so much. Wait till WrestleMania 12. Bret Hart would be inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2006 by motherfucking Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
We had an amazing match with at WrestleMania 13, I believe.
Sure, we'll go
I
with
want to
that.
say it was 13.
Yeah, why not?
backstage with Bobby and Andre. Bobby gets over how fucked Hulk is in 15 years. Andre has never been defeated.
Yep.
He's bigger. He is stronger. He is taller than anyone Hulk has ever faced. Bobby is not going apeshit like he was. I'm 2 for 2. He was just. He's like, here are the facts.
Odds on favorite.
Odds on favorite all over the world. They're calling it for them. All this while Andre just stares
my
stone-faced at the camera.
Yep.
This promo is amazing.
It's so
Shat my
great.
pants.
Dude, I was like, oh my god, guys, Hulkamania is gonna die.
Andre did not blink.
I was like worried for Hulk Hogan, and I pray for his death every day.
Andre
I don't actually pray for his death.
Andre went full Hannibal Lecter with that promo.
Yeah,
Dude, it was fucking scary.
he really did, and he's just looking into your very soul, and you're just like, fuck, Hulk Hogan's going to die. That's
Right? I know how this ends, and I'm still worried. Since we just had this thing with Bobby and Andre, we, of course, go into the natural Butch Reed. And with Slick versus Coco Beware. And I will say, I like this. After the last 2 pay-per-views, I was used to saying, backstage segment with someone, why aren't they wrestling now?
right.
But this is better. They really hyped up this main event. Mm-hmm. Coco does actually get some music as he weeps on out, flapping his arms.
Birdman.
Slick's fucking suit.
I don't know.
Shit.
Actually, I literally just wrote in all caps, holy shit, this man's suit.
Coco gets a really great pop as Ventura says that the B in Coco Beware stands for...
I don't know.
What does it stand for?
I was hoping you motherfuckers wouldn't make me say it. It stands for buckwheat.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my... You fucking evil Muppet Jesse Ventura. Jesus fucking Christ.
Really nice exchange before a dropkick sends Butch outside. When Coco flaps his wings, he doesn't Hulk up. He flaps up.
He's like, yeah.
I lose my shit every time that happens.
Yeah, it's great.
As the camera gets really close to Frankie the parrot, he tries to bite the camera. Looks like he's cutting a promo. I lost my motherfucking mind.
His promo, it was the promo of the night. Clearly, it was just the parrot.
Coco gives a crossbody, which Monsoon calls correctly. Good job.
Ooh, not flying tackle anymore.
The Natural reverses it and gets the 3.
Holding tights, of course.
Holding the tights, of course. Yeah, 3.5 minutes. Since Butch grabbed a little bit of tights, here comes fucking Tito Santana.
Flying down to the ring, the friend to every face.
As if on cue.
As he starts tearing off Slick's clothes, hot.
Yeah.
Ventura says he should be fined for this. Hey, Dad.
Oh my god! So my favorite part is Santana ripping Slick's suit off. Is Butch Reed just standing to lip plate
just like, what's going on?
Am I supposed to help? I guess I can help, but I'm not gonna. I don't know what's going on with that.
As they follow Slick down the entranceway, it is covered in trash. Fans have been throwing it all night at the heels, and there is some dude who's standing there with one broom, and he's looking at it, and he's like, nah.
And then one sad little bucket
because that entranceway is 7 miles long.
Yeah.
It is like the entirety of Pontiac, Michigan. It's crazy. Coco celebrates all the way to the back. Fuck yeah, I lost the match.
God, he's just such a happy dude,
Which is nice.
Yeah.
I feel like the match starts off really, really strong and then immediately plummets to mediocrity.
I agree.
I went ahead and farted a 3 at this one.
Yeah, similar thing. It's like it was trying to get over Butch Reed as kind of a shitbird heel, but it was just average. So I'm gonna have to give it a 3 as well.
I gave it a 2 because of just again, it started out great, but if a match is supposed to tell a story, I feel like this one was a story told by your fucking grandfather. And then he falls asleep after saying...
And he called the black guy buckwheat.
And oh my god, calling the black guy buckwheat. I just...
Hey, 1987, how you doing?
Oh god. But yeah, no, I gave it a 2 out of 5 just because it was such a, fart in a bathtub.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite phrase? You use that way more than you should have.
I think things I just don't like. I have a car wreck. Oh, this is a fart in a bathtub. I scream as they carry me away.
Coco Beware would be brought into the Hall of Fame in 2009, inducted by the Honky Tonk Man.
I love that there's a guy who has the word honky in his name. And they keep calling him Honky, and I'm like, absolutely.
Video package for Macho Man and Steamboat.
Yes.
You see Macho beating up Steamboat, and Ron Jeremy, his doctor, tells about how he's amazed at his regenerative abilities.
God, he does look like Ron Jeremy. Lord have mercy.
Fucking Scooter is done.
This kills the man.
Send help. Scooter is done.
That's awesome.
We also see a match that the two had later on where George Steele kidnaps Elizabeth.
Jesus.
She doesn't fight back or anything. Ventura, who was the commentator at the time, says, "Oh, this is awful. She's being kidnapped." Yes, it is.
They did nothing.
Vince McMahon says, "At least she's in the arms of someone who cares for her."
Jesus.
Do you know what kidnapping is?
Yeah, it's not a nice thing.
Elizabeth is a fucking paper doll. I
Yep.
hate you, 1980s.
So I was taken aback when Steamboat is selling his broken larynx and he's getting carted away. He's sitting there selling it harder than anyone sold anything. He's just like, I was like, oh my god, he's dying.
Macho Man cuts a great promo. He says, "Not only am I going to embarrass you, not only am I going to beat you, I'm going to take you out of wrestling for good."
Right.
Yeah.
And then, "This is our moment, Macho Man." That was so awesome. It's like, we are at the precipice of time.
Well, he's making his little karate hands. Macho Man's entrance. His entrance with the ring car with that many people to his music. That shit is WrestleMania.
Yes. Good God.
Macho gets a pretty good pop from the crowd.
Yeah.
There's booze in there, but there's some fucking
It's
cheering.
the fucking Macho Man. Of course he's going to get cheered. Come on.
Right.
We got to Ricky's interview. He
Oh,
says,
I got that order.
"We clash like two titans. This dragon is breathing fire."
Yours back will be scorched.
It's amazing.
Yes. And these are like two of my favorite old school wrestlers in the same match, so of course I'm pumped.
Oh, yeah. This is a match for the Intercontinental Championship. Why is Ricky the challenger coming out second?
That's,
But I will say, the flash bulbs that are going off as they stare each other down in the ring, that is amazing.
blinding.
That is a moment you will not get again until, I want to say, much later on in the match, the greatest stare down I've ever seen in wrestling.
Hogan Rock?
Hogan and Rock.
Yeah.
See, this motherfucker knows. Because they like stare at each other and people are just shitting their pants in the audience, and then they look off to the opposite side of each other.
Yeah.
Oh
Then they
my
proceed to have an average match, but who cares?
Where The Rock drags him kicking and screaming through the best match of his life.
Yeah, the foreplay was great, but one of the participants went totally sandbagged the other one.
But no one
fucking
talks about the match.
pushed
Everyone
rope.
talks about the stare down.
Oh, and that's all you need, though.
Yeah.
It's like the Sandman.
Yeah.
It's the entrance, and just please leave. So George Steele is there. Fuck.
Why?
Macho jumps out after one maneuver to lead Elizabeth away from Steele. Good.
Storytelling. It's awesome.
3 arm drags in a row from Steamboat before he gets Savage in a double arm lifting choke. The good guy, it makes sense here for him to get him in a double arm lifting choke because of their
Blood
backstory.
feud.
It's amazing. It's not like the Blood feud where they get like a fish out of water spot or they collar and elbow tie out. No, they are fucking going for it.
Yeah.
Macho throws, he's Steamboat is like resting on the ropes. Macho pulls the ropes back really quick and throws them off. Monsoon calls that a clothesline.
Sure.
Ricky starts working on Macho's arm, which is really cool.
And then and then Macho proceeds to not sell it the rest of the show.
You are clearly not watching the match.
Yeah.
Arm drags, arm wrenches, wrist locks. When Macho gets some time after an elbow, throwing Ricky over the top, Ricky also bumping like a madman.
Right.
Yeah.
He continues to like hold his arm.
See, I missed that.
Yeah, apparently he does it like 40 times.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
That's the thing. It's like I don't know how much we can comment on this match because what else could you absolutely say?
Everybody else has already covered it. But
this was the match of the show.
Well,
Macho begins working on the throat, or as Jesse calls it, the larynx. I rewound it. I was like, did this motherfucker just say larynx?
Larynx.
As it turns out, this motherfucker just said larynx.
That's a Scooter style misspoke.
Macho is tied in the ropes. Ricky gets over his unusual aggressive self. He continues to attack. The ref throws him off. He continues coming back and just beating him. And it's not like a technical move. It's not karate. He's just punching him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the storytelling in this match.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Quick pin attempts, and they start going a million miles an hour all over the ring. Dragon is thrown over, skins the cat, Macho clotheslines him over again.
Yep.
Lost my mind.
It's like, yes.
Oh, man.
Macho attacks Ricky on the outside, sends him over a table and over the guardrail. As George helps him back to the ring, Jesse goes on a tirade, calling Monsoon a hypocrite, and he is fucking correct.
Correct.
He makes it back in. Macho immediately throws him back out, following it up with a jumping double axe handle. Jesse says larynx again. Fuck,
Jesus.
Man. Macho just stays on Steamboat, and then they start battling back and forth. Steamboat starts picking up some steam again. And
I hate you so much.
He gets a top rope karate chop, leaping across the fucking ring to nail Savage. Monsoon, true to form, calls it a karate shot. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Monsoon.
Savage gets his foot caught in the rope. Ref notices. After he's counted to 3, the fans go apeshit, but the ref says, no. It was the biggest tease in the world. Oh my god. You fucking put this match together, and where are you now?
Yeah.
Sunset flip and a windmill from Macho that makes sense. He actually has one of his arms on the rope for it. So it makes sense that he's trying to reach out and grab the other one while maintaining his balance. It's the only windmill I think I've ever seen that makes sense.
That's the one like just doing the hula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More quick pin attempts between the two. Crowd is on the edge of their seat, and so am I.
Yeah.
And then we get a ref bump.
Woo!
Savage goes to the top and delivers his, oh my god, almost sexual, it is so gorgeous, elbow drop. Ventura counts to 3. Savage counts to 3 in the ring.
Yeah.
Then Savage tries to wake up Mr. Earl Hebner, the rink, who's apparently just fucking dead.
As you do.
It was, of course, the evil twin of Dave Hebner.
Yeah. He goes out, takes the bell from the timekeeper, which is how he injured him. George steals it away, throws him off the top, and then Steamboat hits a small package for the 3. The crowd goes apeshit, and Ventura calls it a miscarriage of justice. We are not changing the name of our podcast.
I don't know about having miscarriage in the title. You know,
its implications are there.
Yeah.
Scooter, you already said it. What can you say?
Not much.
Give me your thoughts, man.
Okay, so this is the match that I remember hearing Jericho talk about a while back. It's like, this is the match that him and his buddies would recreate step by step because it is that perfect. Like, it's like it inspired a generation of wrestlers to step up from, like, this is the transition between, like, the 80s, pre-80s wrestling.
The Hulkamania into the new generation.
Because this is, like, people looked at it, it's like, I want to wrestle like this, not like I'm a big, strong dude.
Right.
So this is the coming of a new era, and that is why it is a motherfucking 5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan.
I also gave it a 5 out of 5. It was, even out of context for how shambolic the rest of WrestleMania 3 generally is, if I had just, randomly YouTubed this match, I would have been as excited about it as I was watching it on WrestleMania 3. It was, goddamn, they told a great story, it's 2 of the best wrestlers at the time, it was brilliant, it was great, 5 out of 5.
I am apparently harder to please than everyone else. But this match was absolutely fucking amazing. I would have liked an ending that was not
a small package,
just a small package, but that is a product of the time. This match apart from that little nitpick, is perfect from beginning to end. This is a very well-deserved 5 out of 5. Scooter, I believe this is our first 5 that we've
It
given.
really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking what a match to give.
Yeah, it's like the first like big time like, oh my god, this is like
This is WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania.
Like this was a glimmer like of the promise that wrestling had.
I've read some stuff on this match. People were going, like nowadays kind of go, it's all right, because they don't have they take themselves out of the context of what it's surrounded by.
Right.
And what like the past 3 years, what matches have been.
Mm-hmm.
And this is longer than the main event. Like it's still only like 13 some odd minutes, because people I guess can't go above 15.
14 and a half minutes.
Okay, there you go.
I think that a lot of people that say, it's all right. Well, I'm sorry that there was not a table in it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry nobody got set on fire.
Yeah, I'm sorry there were no. I'm sorry nobody got like thrown through 3
It's
tables.
not a ladder match.
I will start ranting on this when we get to the Attitude Era. I'm not. I'm going to shame a lot of people. Not exactly the biggest fan of the Attitude. I like some elements of the Attitude Era. There's some areas I just cannot.
I understand. People like to think of the Attitude Era as a golden era. If you sit down and watch an episode of Monday Night Raw from then,
It is.
Yeah.
And
you'll be surprised.
it's embarrassing.
Some of it is.
Some of it.
Some of it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so literally any period of wrestling.
How about that?
Yeah. It's weird like that.
Jake Roberts and Alice Cooper with Mean Gene. Jake, he's a face now. In November of '86, 2 heels went against each other when Jake faced the Macho Man. The fans apparently started cheering for Jake. He then started feuding with Honky Tonk, which cemented his face turn. We see Honky Tonk beating Jake with a guitar on the Snake Pit. Jake and Jimmy Hart both say this legitimately injured Jake's neck, since the guitar was a real guitar and not a breakaway.
Right. Honky Tonk has like gone on record calling Jake a bitch because he was gimmicked. He was like, I was gimmicked to all hell, but Jake's like, no,
That's a real guitar, bro.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking ovation.
But
It's-
right.
And Honky Tonk's like, no, it was gimmicked. As a way to like, because Honky Tonk is kind of a dick in real life.
Yes,
is.
he really is.
Alice Cooper just stands there, possibly asleep. Not sure.
Sure.
We go to the actual match. Ventura admits that the last match was fucking amazing. The best he's ever seen. Yes.
Yes, agree.
Yeah.
For once,
Yeah,
I fucking
Gorilla?
For once, I fucking agree with Jesse Ventura's enthusiasm about a match.
Gorilla says that is the best you will ever see if you live for 100 more years.
Wow.
I don't know that I would call it that.
Oh sure,
That's pretty good, though.
One up Jesse Ventura's fucking enthusiasm.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
Also,
That's hard to do.
right. Also, Honky Tonk Man sounds exactly like Boomhauer. Have you noticed?
He does.
He's like, man, to tell you what, man, dang, I'm going to kill the judge. I'm going to tell you what, women from Mars, man.
He is hard to understand, but very good on the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really cocky. He gets cut
It's
off
a
early.
really good character.
It's great.
Yeah, he gets cut off early. It is funny to me that a man whose gimmick is essentially, hey, I'm Elvis,
Yeah.
is a heel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the
Well,
evil...
because it comes from the fact that I think the WWF is a northeastern promotion, and they probably look down on somebody like Elvis. So it's easy to
Maybe.
make the southern guy a heel.
Right.
I guess if this had happened in fucking Memphis.
Memphis.
Yeah,
It
he would
would've
be
been-
like, you've been the king.
He would have been the
It would've been
hometown
Jerry
boy.
Lawler.
Oh god, he would have been. Oh god, no one should ever be Jerry Lawler.
Well, it is his cousin.
Yeah, true.
When the heel attacks from behind, it's a Pearl Harbor for Monsoon. When it's a face that does it, as it is here, he's just not wasting any time.
Yeah.
Monsoon says Jake is literally stripping the clothes off him. I don't know if
Nothing. Gay.
literally is really necessary there. Is there a figurative way? He is figuratively stripping the clothes off that man.
Yes, there is a way to do it, and it involves Vince McMahon.
It's like I fucking someone.
Yes, there is a way to figuratively strip someone's clothes off, and it's to be Vince McMahon while interviewing Hulk Hogan in front of a camera. Just eye fucking him.
I have in my notes that this is the third time that Ventura has said miscarriage of justice. Stop.
So many of
Stop
them.
it.
Get it.
Stop. Front facelock from Jake, teasing a DDT. Honky jets out of there.
Yep.
Beautiful tease.
It was great.
Jake chases after him. He sells an Irish whip into the post like death. Ventura gets Monsoon to admit that Alice Cooper should not be helping Jake up.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for admitting you're a fucking piece of shit, Monsoon.
Right, and also Gorilla Monsoon doesn't understand the Colonel reference with Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
I think because he's like,
What?
what does he mean? The Colonel, like, no, Colonel Parker, Elvis, fuck you, Gorilla
Elvis,
Monsoon.
He's
do
old.
your-
He probably never listened to
do your-
Elvis.
Do your research, you shit.
He can't be bothered.
Nope.
Honky offers for Alice to get in the ring. I love that. He's like, come on in.
Yeah.
The match at this point slows down considerably before Jake counters the shake, rattle, and roll. Honky's rocking chair
a great
between
name.
the ropes.
Yep.
I know, right? But
Oh
his
man,
rocking chair between
dude.
the
Honestly,
ropes. I
honestly,
love
that was
spot.
gnarly as hell. I really like that.
Love that spot. Hart tries to come into the ring, distracts Jake, and he gets rolled up for the 3. Jake and Alice then beat up Hart
Oh
for
man,
a bit before
Hart
throwing a
jumps
snake at him.
Hart jumps in, throws up, then Dukes towards Alice. I was like, "Oh shit's about to get real."
And honestly-
and then Jake interrupts it.
And like I picture Jimmy Hart making scooter noises as he flails and tries to get away.
Monsoon says that WrestleMania 3 has surpassed his expectations, and there is so much more left to come.
Jesse Ventura called Alice Cooper ugly. Let's just let that sink in for a moment. Jesse Ventura called a man ugly. Good stuff.
This doesn't feel like a blow-off match to me. They both sell for each other pretty well. It's entertaining.
Yeah, but it wasn't a
there's
blow.
a bit of a lull. There's a bit of a lull in the match, and it doesn't feel like a blow-off. Still better than most of the other matches on here. Even after the match just came, this one still sits at a very strong 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we were going to take this WrestleMania 3 and put it in a vacuum compared to everything else, this is definitely a 4 match.
Yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5 as well.
How about that?
Yeah, weird.
7 minutes, 19 seconds. Good stuff.
Also,
Right length and everything.
also because I mark the fuck out for Jake Roberts generally, and also, and because he's
And Alice Cooper.
also Alice Cooper. I was so excited. You don't understand.
Alice Cooper mark.
Yeah, that's, and then also the fact that like Jake sells like such a goddamn champ.
Oh my god.
Well, he's the master of ring psychology.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know.
So like I when he gets into the ring, I'm immediately like, this is going to be a good match.
Yeah. Mean Gene comes out. He announces Gene Mean comes out and announces the new indoor attendance record, 93,173. This record would last at the Silver Dome all the way until September of the same year, when Pope John Paul II would come in, put 506 more people in there,
Jesus.
and hold mass at the Silver Dome.
I mean, you know, it's good to commercialize.
We have got so much fucking wine. You people don't even know. We've got, if this was like a Baptist thing, we bought out like 7 trucks of Welch's grape juice and some oyster crackers. Motherfucker, we ready to do this?
Shit's
I don't know
going
why
down.
they'd get that hyped over like the Lord's Supper.
When he's not leading mass, he's kicking ass.
I hate you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
As far as like sports attendances, not counting NASCAR, because that shit gets in the like 275,000.
Does it?
Oh yeah, the Indianapolis 500. Fuck.
Oh.
Later, the NBA All-Star Game at Cowboys Stadium in 2010 would have 108,713.
Damn.
Next, Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik
Yes.
with Slick.
Yes.
This is the Killer Bees.
both.
All right, quick trivia note: why it's randomly the Killer Bees, even though Dugan is running around with his 2x4 with the American flag on it. It was supposed to be Dugan and who's Colonel Klitschner?
Corporal Kirchner.
Kirchner. Kirchner got busted for drugs before this. And so
Yeah,
the Killer Bees.
Good job, Marty. Genetti.
Also, I just need to point out the Fink screaming "The Killer Bees" was I could not stop laughing. I had to pause
Which
it.
I was shocked the Killer Bees were as jacked as they were. I was not expecting that.
And
You would think they would be more alive.
and then my girlfriend had to listen to me just screaming "Buzz" like anytime that one of the Killer Bees performed a move it was just "Buzz."
That should have been their character. But instead, there's two guys in striped pajamas.
But they get a good pop. Would you say that they that the arena is all a buzz for them?
Oh God!
Ow!
Thank you. Yeah, the sting will pass in a moment, but I have a mind to.
Yes.
Fuck you, Ryan.
You're welcome.
That was better. I had I worked that up for weeks. Nikolai, with the voice
Of an angel.
of angels.
Yes.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan interrupts him with a 2x4 that has a tiny American flag stapled to it.
God.
Here's my questions.
I lost it.
Damn.
Here's my
That's
question about Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Is his gimmick that he's a jingoistic retard, or is there
Yes.
something
Like,
else?
he's
there?
like, he refuses to hear the USSR anthem.
And he's just. I seriously think his gimmick is that he's retarded.
Yeah.
Well, and then
He's Eugene before Eugene.
and the thing was, it was great because if I'm looking for a definition of cheap pop, it's Hacksaw Jim Duggan screaming, "We live in the band of the Nurg and the rear of the bird," and everybody going, "Yeah!"
Luckily, for the most part, I lost my shit with Dugan because he's marching around like he had his 2x4 is a rifle and just like just posing at the ringside. It's like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Why does he have a 2x4?
Because he found it.
know.
He found it, and it's his now.
Why is his name Hacksaw?
Shut up, Hacksaw Jim. Freedom.
Actually, I heard apparently he like during a promotional thing before he got to WWF, he's kind of military cheap and half the hacksaw, and so people just started calling him Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That may not be true.
And also the
That's
greatest,
just what I've heard.
and the greatest thing about Hacksaw Jim Duggan was the time that Shaquille O'Neal met Mick Foley and tweeted the picture and was like, "Just met Hacksaw Jim Duggan, my favorite wrestler." And
Did he really do that?
He did, and then Mick Foley tweeted back, "I'm not upset that he thought I was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I'm upset that his fingers are bigger than my penis."
That's hilarious.
And I think that's my favorite exchange I've ever seen on Twitter.
That's almost as good as before the, I believe it was before the Royal Rumble match, when The Rock and Mick Foley were discussing everything, and in reference to the People's Elbow, Mick Foley said, "If you expect me to go out there and sell that abortion, you're dumber than I look." There's like 8 kinds of hilarity.
Oh man, it's so great.
Slick still has his ripped shirt from earlier.
It's
He has
awesome.
not changed.
Nope.
I've lost my shit.
It's like
Never changed,
He didn't bring an extra suit, so he's like, I don't have Heenan money.
No.
I can't change outfits.
My annual costume change.
The do-si-do spot fucks up the heels as Duggan tries to get a pop for himself with a ho, and Monsoon calls it a yo. You fucking idiot.
God, I want to launch them into the fucking sun.
Double hip toss by the Killer Bees, which is more damaging because double.
Killer Bulls.
Fans continue to throw trash at the heels. There has never been a heat like Iron Sheik heat.
I feel like Chic Heat is one of the and it's so funny because like if I'm trying to think of a match that perfectly represents America's cultural attitudes during 1987, it is this match. 2 guys called the Killer Bulls versus the Foreigners, and
People
everybody.
are like, "Fuck yeah, the Bees."
Yeah, fuck yeah, we're rooting for the Bees.
They are the Bees' knees.
Oh, I hate you so much.
Lovely gut wrench suplex by Sheiky Baby.
Cheeky baby.
I never realized how good his suplexes are.
Yeah.
Right?
He's almost like some sort of suplex king.
Are you referring to the New Jersey...
The suplex king?
the
Taz?
New Jersey Oompa Loompa?
Yes.
Wait, the Miz?
He's from Ohio.
Oh, sorry.
Speaking of Ohio, why is Slick managing the Foreigners?
Because Blassie retired.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
that's why.
Sheik gets the Steiner recliner on a B, and Duggan comes in and wallops him with a 2x4. You fucking prick.
I actually had to pause it, and usually, again, when I go...
That is such terrible booking.
Yeah, when I have to go for a cigarette, that's when I know that I'm angry. And as soon as, like, Hacksaw just at random runs into the goddamned ring with the 2x4...
Like, I don't want these guys to submit, so I'll get them DQ.
And loses
that's that's a heel move.
And, loses his guys the match, and the Killer Bees are in no way angry that he's cost them the win.
Oh, it's cool, man. It's because he sold them pot.
I was
Little known fact, Duggan was supposed to get a bigger push after he won the Royal Rumble, but he got caught with weed with the Iron Sheik in a car.
True.
So when he hits the Iron Sheik with the 2x4, maybe there was a little more bitterness behind that than we'd like to believe.
Maybe. Duggan gets his giant USA chant going on. Some guy has a sign that just says "kill" in the audience. Did you see that sign? It is in giant red letters. It just says "kill."
I did not. That's beautiful.
I'm hoping there's something on like the back of that. Nope. Where it's like "kill
Andre
me." Maybe it's like some dude's wife holding it up. Like, I don't want to be here. Again, Ventura goes full dad mode. Says Tunney should fine and suspend Duggan. Please do.
Yeah,
please.
That sounds great. Shit. Well, he just lacks the emotional depth and gravity of Hillbilly Jim, I think.
That's true. It's kind of true.
As always, since we have a match with the Iron Sheik, we do have to talk about the Iron Sheik's Twitter.
Yes.
Now's the part of the show where we have a tweet from the Iron Sheik. July 27th. White chicks better movie than Gandhi.
I want Iron Sheik movie review movie critic.
Yeah, and I just picture. I mean, when I think of what happiness looks like, it's just Iron Sheik alone in the room, in his house where he lives, tweeting, and watching white chicks.
Oh man,
that's what enlightenment looks like right there.
I think I would literally kill myself if it comes out the Iron Sheik's Twitter was not actually run by Iron Sheik at all.
I would be so sad.
No.
That is Santa not being.
No, that's like finding out that Horse eBooks is not actually a spam bot. I was so bummed.
Yeah, that is very sad. Man. Gene interviews Andre and...
Oh, wait a minute.
Andre and he.
Wait, we didn't do
We didn't talk about the fucking 5.5 minute piece of shit match.
Can I just can we insert goat noise?
And that's...
I'm gonna go ahead and say 3.
What?
Because of the Iron Sheik.
Well, yeah.
The Iron Sheik sells like a boss. Kind of. He kind of sells.
Mm-hmm.
Nikolai definitely sells.
Yeah.
And Iron Sheik has got some good technique in him.
Yeah.
Decent match till all my anger in this match is Duggan.
And then
I fucking hate Duggan.
And then Duggan,
more than anything.
and then that was the year that Hacksaw Jim Duggan ruined Christmas.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just ran into the room, hit Grandma with a 2x4, and started screaming about freedom.
USA! You killed our grandma! USA!
You described my Christmas in 1989.
Ryan?
Yeah, I gave it a 2 out of 5 purely because I love the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov.
Okay. Makes sense.
I gave it a 2 out of 5 purely because of the booking of Duggan causing the DQ for the faces and DQ and the faces be like, "It's cool, man." It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, like the fact that they were like, "What the fuck was? Why did you do that?"
They just kicked Duggan's ass, and turned heel on Duggan.
Yeah, and they're like, and they're like, "Well, you did hit an Iranian and a Russian with a 2x4, and as bees, we support that."
Are they American bees? Or are they
Africanized honeybees?
Right? Are they? Yeah, exactly. Are they European honeybees? Yeah. God damn it! I was so. Oh God.
We cut back to Mean Gene interviewing Andre and Heenan. Andre is very calm. He says that it's not going to take long. He'll be coming back to the camera later with the championship belt around his waist. I wonder if it will fit.
No.
Video package starting back in 1984. January 23rd, after Hulk Hogan wins the belt, Andre congratulating him.
Beating Iron Sheik.
Shows that they were a tag team. Shows Hogan interrupting Andre's trophy celebration. They were giving him they gave Hogan a trophy for being champion for 3 years and being a piece of shit.
Right.
They gave a trophy to Andre for being undefeated for 15 years, but it's a smaller trophy.
Oh yeah, sure.
Hogan's just cunting all over it, and he makes it about himself. Andre just said fuck it and leaves.
Yep.
Although Andre was never defeated in WWF, he had been pinned in Mexico in '84, and he actually submitted to Antonio Inoki
Oh shit!
in '86.
Yeah.
Shout out to Inoki.
And then yeah.
Shows Andre challenging Hogan. Hogan begging him not to challenge him. Please don't wrestle me for my championship that I have to defend.
Even though
brother.
you're probably clearly the number one
fucking
contender by a
don't
mile.
understand.
And then also
Oh.
and then the important thing here is that Hogan doesn't believe him that he's going to do this, and then Bobby the Brain Heenan goes, well, maybe you'll believe this, and then Andre rips his shirt off.
Well,
And the
no,
crucifix.
and the crucifix.
And the crucifix, and God, yeah, but the crucifix, sure, but they make such a big deal about the T-shirt.
It's definitely more of the crucifix that they're getting.
Oh, is it?
That's
Okay.
what I got. That's what I got.
See,
Yeah.
they just kept focusing on the T-shirt for me.
Ryan, pay attention to these things. Are you just fucking getting your nutsack lathed by your fucking Tinkerbell?
Maybe.
And my favorite part is at the end is Roddy Piper's going nuts like, do you accept his challenge? Yeah! Yeah! And you see the crowd popping, even though for sure it's alive.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like, yes! The most guttural yes I've ever heard.
We cut to a live interview with Hogan. Hogan is coked out of his mind still.
Sure. It's like,
Screaming about
I left the gym, they told me it was my last rod, brother.
brother, no. He's like, people on the outside of the Silver Dome are going to experience earthquakes. He's talking about destroying the world.
Yeah,
Pretty awesome.
it kind of went into Ultimate Warrior territory there for a moment.
It did. It did. That's a good point.
Where he's like, I'm going to climb into your cockpit and drain all of your rocket fuel.
It kind of went metaphysical for a minute.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, the champion, versus Andre the Giant. Bob Uecker is going to be the guest ring announcer.
Why?
Oh boy.
Okay.
Mary Hart is brought out for the guest timekeeper role. Maybe she took some training from
I
Liddy.
mean, I was going to say she's no G. Gordon Liddy, but...
Mary does mark out a little bit in the ring. You can hear her say to Bob, "This is unbelievable. Look at all these people." That is very true.
So say we all. That is a lot of fucking
That's a
people.
shoot, brother.
If I could go back in time, I would just like to stand in that ring and look out to all the people and be like,
Damn.
I think at that point I would say USA, because fuck yeah, I want those people cheering.
Yeah.
U.S.
Fuck yeah, America. Andre comes out. No music. But boos are louder than any stereo.
Boos are the
system.
best music,
Yo.
really.
Plenty of trash.
All the trash.
And honestly,
Both of them. Yeah.
I was going to say, I love Andre so much that I get weirdly protective of him. And, as soon as he starts getting pelted with trash, I'm like, you son of a bitch, don't you pelt him.
Oh yeah,
Well,
he and Heenan.
I gotta say, I miss these days of people filling arenas with trash.
Yeah.
Because you just don't see it anymore. The last major time you see that is Bash
It's
the Beach,
Beach when Hogan
96.
turns.
Because that's about the only time. That's a lost art is people throwing trash
Yeah.
and rioting after
getting
shows.
that heat. I'd say the only people that can get that much heat now,
are foreigners.
are the Dudleys.
Yep.
Because holy shit, Bubba Ray Dudley is the best
And Vicky
person.
Guerrero.
No, Bubba Ray Dudley, dude. There's an ECW house show where they literally started a riot.
Yep.
Holy shit!
There's about 100 fans that were throwing punches.
Yeah, and then there was that one time.
At the Dudleys.
In general,
Yeah, I mean, there was that one time in WCW that an old woman took a swing at Hulk Hogan.
that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
So, they all get pelted in the head. Monsoon misuses literally and says that he has literally been brainwashed by Heenan.
He gave him a good
Ventura-
scrub down.
Ventura runs down both competitors' measurements. Chest, forearms, wrist, calves. Hogan has 20-inch calves. Holy shit.
While masturbating furiously, he describes their measurements.
He's fucking...
Oh.
This is the kind of shit that Vince McMahon jerks off to.
Right.
Then of course when it comes crashing down in it, so
You gotta bake a ham.
he
That
gets
don't
his
help to
music. Not only does he get his music, Hogan gets to walk down.
Yeah.
The only person this pay-per-view.
Not in.
I'm not using the cart.
Yeah.
I gotta ham it up.
I'm surprised.
I wonder if he's
That's more than he usually works walking down the ring.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's contracted to pose longer than his matches. And that's why he had to walk to make up the time for posing.
Possibly, yeah. Last episode I mentioned Hogan sitting atop the cage tearing his shirt off was one of the most iconic WrestleMania shots. This one beats it. Hogan staring down Andre in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
As they slowly kind of zoom out and show all the people in the flash.
And see, it's funny because, of course, I
shit.
like that. I forget if it was Ventura or Monsoon who mentions that, like, yeah, Hogan is 6'10", and Andre is towering
What?
over him.
is Hogan actually 6'10"?
Dude, Hogan's huge.
Yeah, he's a huge guy, and
Well, I know
Hogan
he's
is a
good.
fucking giant.
and Andre is towering over him.
Yeah. Monsoon says that Andre is 7'5". He's actually 7'4". But I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
It's like saying, well, you didn't play that at 400 beats a minute. It was only 373. It's fucking.
Yeah.
Here's a game I'd like to play. Let's play Count the Wrestlers' movesets.
Yeah.
And I did.
Oh boy.
So Hogan starts off with a punch and fucks up a body slam. He like hurts his back. Saw the same spot last year. Exact same spot. Andre falls on him. Almost actually gets the 3. I don't think Hogan actually gets his shoulder.
No, he doesn't. Like, I
Also-
noticed he actually did accidentally get fucking pinned by Andre falling on him.
I wish that had been the end of the match.
Oh my god.
Oh my
yes.
god, I would have been so happy.
Mercifully, it would have been great.
Andre body slams Hogan. To Andre's credit, I'm going to say he's not holding on to anything this year.
Yeah.
He walks over Hogan's back. This is some pretty hefty shit. I give Andre a lot of a beating on the past 2 episodes, but I have to say that when WrestleMania hits, he's already past his prime. Vince McMahon Sr. and Jr. were the ones that told the wrestling promoter that was currently using him that he should not be performing certain moves to help get over his size. This motherfucker was pulling drop kicks. He was pulling top rope spots. Motherfucker was pulling body splashes from the top rope. Can you imagine? In this match, Andre is 40 years old, and he is about 6 months past back surgery.
And yeah, so his body,
Goddamn.
like at this point, the pain this guy was
his
going
body is
through.
really going back. He got spinal surgery because he could not stand it anymore. He hoped it would help relieve the pain. It did not. He's wearing a back brace underneath his singlet.
So that's what we went from like the nuclear yellow shorts
Yeah.
to the singlet.
He is such an amazing, incredible man.
Yeah.
Who has nothing but my utmost respect, and I want to make sure that's well known. But these matches in WrestleMania are just not very good. His immobility is too hampering.
And I don't blame. And the thing is, I don't blame him for that. I blame
I don't
the
either.
bookers.
Well, it's not necessarily just the bookers. I think Hogan does a good job of trying to hide or work with Andre's immobility here to get over the fact of what a crazy giant is.
Right.
This is some of the best work that I've seen Hogan do as far as putting over another character, because God knows it's the only time he's ever done
Right.
it. But, Andre can't do it. Andre should not be wrestling at this point, but Andre loved wrestling so much that when he got to the point where he physically could not do it and had to have giant metal arm braces all the time, that broke his heart.
Yeah.
He wanted to be in the ring so much. A few Irish whips by Andre, a shoulder butt. He backs that ass up on Hogan in the corner,
Which was great, by the way.
gives him a headbutt, misses a headbutt. Hogan starts punching him again. We get an elbow. We get a chest bump. Fans get to count as Hogan slams Andre's head on the turnbuckle. Then Andre catches Hogan running in with a big boot, which looked fucking awful.
Yeah.
And then he gets him a chest chop. That shit would tear my nipple.
Yes. Yeah, that's at least like a getting hit by a car's worth of force.
Or a country ham.
Yeah, just getting a country ham lobbed at your chest. Here you go.
Then he gets Hogan in a back in a bear hug. And something tells me that's going to last for a while.
Yeah, they cuddle aggressively for a while.
Hogan gets out of the bear hug with about 800 punches, a few shoulder tackles. Andre catches him coming in with a back elbow. Ooh,
Yeah.
a back elbow.
So we are now up to how many moves?
Well, we're getting there. A big boot sends Hogan to the outside. That's when he delivers an even worse sounding chop. He's the loudest shit. That's like when Big Show
Slaps his own hand.
Big Show. Well, no, because Big Show will do the thing where he tells everybody to be quiet and listen to this. But he stole that. I think that actually originated in Japan, where there's a guy that shh, and then because Japanese fans are always like silent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go what at the move.
Yep.
That it's the weirdest shit. Oh man, Hogan, the good guy, pulls up the mats on the outside and tries to pile drive Andre the Giant.
Onto the concrete. The good guy does this.
Andre reverses it with a back body drop, and Hogan takes the world's safest one.
Yep.
He slides down Andre's body.
Hogan misses calling to be just a heel forever.
Yeah.
God, he's the worst piece of shit. Back inside the ring, Hogan finally drops Andre with a clothesline, and the crowd goes nuts. Then he starts hulking up. Woo! We get the iconic body slam that Gorilla Monsoon, or it's later called, the body slam heard around the world. Hogan says that he actually tore his latissimus dorsi, body slamming him here. I'm willing to believe that.
Yeah, right, because this man is like how heavy?
540.
Jesus.
Um,
that is like 5 of me.
I wonder if Cesaro tore anything when he picked up the Big Show and chucked him out of the ring. Because that's even, I don't know how much the Big Show weighs in comparison.
400 something.
Yeah, that's even, he didn't just slam him. He picked that some bitch up and
threw
chucked
him
him.
Yeah.
So,
But this is also coming from the guy that says that Undertaker fucked up his neck real bad, when you can clearly see that there's a foot between his head and the chair. Anyway,
Yeah.
we get the Hogan leg drop, and Hogan gets the 3. They announce Hogan as the winner. He hot dogs for 40 days.
Right. No, the hot dogging. I don't think I've hated anybody as much as I hated him in that moment of just you piece of shit. Andre is not only 5 of you in person, he's worth 5 of you just generally.
No kidding. Hogan's total moveset is 9 moves.
Oh, ho, ho.
Andre has 12.
What? Wait.
look at that.
What?
Holy shit.
Shit.
Hulk Hogan, you have a smaller moveset than a guy wearing a back
Then the
brace.
barely ambulatory.
He can barely move.
Yeah. Oh,
Fuck you.
man.
You're the world champion, and this is WrestleMania. Step up your fucking game.
Yeah, and then also the fact that the body slam heard around the world, I'd like to point out, was not even the first time Hulk Hogan has body slammed Andre the Giant.
Yeah, but that was a house show.
Yeah, or really anybody had slammed Andre the Giant, because also several other people have body slammed Andre the fucking Giant.
Right? It's true. Now, as Andre and the Brain are driven out, Brain is just holding his head in his hands as he's pelted with trash. Ventura calls this the greatest match he's ever seen. I guess that Steamboat
Didn't count.
madness didn't really last.
And then Gorilla Monsoon just whispers, "I trusted you, Jesse Ventura."
Hogan ends a 15-year undefeated streak.
Boo.
Yep.
Amazing build-up to this match.
Yep.
Hogan sells for once in his career. Andre gives the best performance I've ever seen from him within the 80s.
While also 40
At the
years
end of
old
the
and
day-
dying.
At the end of this day, this match sucks.
Yup.
But I did give it a 2.
Yep.
It is better than Stud and On.
Yep. Oh God, anything
Yeah.
is. I gave this a 2 also.
It's it's a 2. It's the epitome of what a 2-star match is.
Yeah.
No, it is, and also it's hard. I don't know. Like, of course, you're trying to watch this and not be, an insufferable smark who knows how much of a loathsome turd Hulk Hogan the guy is.
Right.
But god damn.
I was going to say, if you actually legitimately like Hulk Hogan, you are
Why?
wrong.
Why?
You are wrong.
Yeah. You're a mark.
He's a shitty human being. He's a shitty wrestler. He can kind of work a crowd, but not really. He can't even fucking talk.
Kind of destroyed TNA.
He wouldn't put over, like, if his own mother were dying, he wouldn't put her over.
Right.
Like, he's just an insufferable prick.
I'm so glad Hiro Matsuda broke his leg.
Right?
Wish it would have stuck.
Man. And then also and even now he's got the Axl Rose thing of still believing that he's on top of the fucking world when your bullshit got old in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We closed the show with Aretha Franklin with some stills from the evening. Ryan, your thoughts overall on the night?
Overall on the night, obviously okay, wait. So the best match of the night obviously was Ricky Steamboat versus Randy Savage. Objectively, that's the best match of the night, and the piss break match of the night is Billy Jack Haynes versus Hercules.
Okay, Scooter.
Okay, obviously there's no more need to talk about Steamboat Savage just because. What else can you honestly say?
Right.
It's clearly the match of the night. And the piss break match is probably the Phil Nelson challenge.
Oh.
But the most heinous match is the Bundy Hillbilly Jim.
abortion, yeah.
Just no, why God no. But that being said, it's probably the best WrestleMania we've had so far.
Oh,
there's been some there were some duds, but top to bottom there wasn't as egregious duds as there've been in previous.
Yeah, Lord have mercy, it's the best so far.
You should watch WrestleMania 3.
Yeah,
if for no other reason than to see the crowd and watch the later mid card.
And
I give the pay-per-view overall a 4.
Yeah.
There is some horrendous shit on this one. The piss break match is the main event.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
And the Bundy abortion. But the mid card really brings this one up. I do want to mention that, we talked last time about how much time there was between matches. I'm a numbers geek. I love numbers. WrestleMania 1, 44% of the card was actually spent in matches. WrestleMania 2, that had dropped down to 38%. This one brings it all the way back up to 45%. So we are making progress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then overall I feel like overall on WrestleMania 3, I feel like it was still struggling to figure out how great it could be, and we saw flashes of that with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Randy Savage. But honestly, I don't even feel comfortable calling the 6-man tag match an actual match. It was a nightmare, and it was I can't even think of that as actually being a wrestling match.
Wow, that's really harsh.
That's
That
pretty
was one of my
awful.
favorite matches on the card.
Wait, really? The 6-man tag match?
Yeah, I like that. I like the shit out of that
That was
match.
a good match.
What?
You even gave it a 4, you piece of shit.
You did give it a 4, Ryan.
Wait, the 6-man tag match with the midgets?
Oh no.
Other 6-man.
Oh, wasn't?
There were 2 6-man tags.
Oh yeah, no. The other one was great. The 6-man tag.
God damn it, Ryan.
Yeah, I should.
That match you were referring to as a Bundy abortion. That was
Okay, so the Bundy abortion obviously was the low point.
yeah.
Don't go messing with the country.
Oh, fuck me.
Thanks for listening to 3 pathetic ugly guys discuss wrestling 26 years after the fact. Follow us on Twitter at TOJ Podcast, on Tumblr, tojpodcast.tumblr.com, and on Facebook at facebook.com/TOJ Podcast. Send your hate mail to tojpodcast@gmail.com. We will be back next week with our review of WrestleMania 4, continuing our WrestleMania count up. Once again, this is Marty.
This is Scooter.
This is Ryan.
And remember, it's Billy Jerk Haynes.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
sheer pandem, and then I stopped writing.
I'm gonna reach through this microphone. And
No, I'm done.
out.
I'm done.
Done. Podcast over.
All right, yep, we're done here.
Slam that door.